Chapter 822, Bathing the Goddess. Chapter 822, Bathing the Goddess. He was so arrogant, so arrogant. Who dared to say such words in front of Aoya? Long Fei was the first. Moreover, Oya was not the first to be angered. On the other side, Ouyang Jian was extremely furious. He was as angry as a volcano erupting. The flames of fury soared to the sky. S heart could not bear the continuous barrage of critical strikes. He finally exploded. With that step, he instantly appeared in front of Long Fei, his eyes filled with killing intent. However, without waiting for his Cyan Dragon Sword S to come crashing down, Aoya's eyes opened wide. The sword intent instantly burst forth from her body, blocking Ouyang Jian's sword intent. Without waiting for Ouyang Jian to speak, Aoya looked at him and said, "I'm your woman, can you tell me?" "No, no, no." Ouyang Jian's heart was at his throat as he pleaded. The disciples outside the courtyard also shouted, "Teacher Oya, please don't promise him. He's a beast. Don't ever agree to his request. I beg of you, please give us some hope." A series of shouts rang out. It really was the last hope. Long Fei smiled faintly and said, "Of course, as long as you become my woman, I will naturally tell you why I'm so strong, hey." He wanted to know if it was because of this sentence that this sword force King Kong, Aoya, would be subdued. "I really want to know." She was the sixth King Kong. It was also possible that she was the only one out of the 8 great King Kong's women. Oya stayed silent for a few seconds, then nodded and said, "Okay, I promise you, I will be your woman." Phut! Ouyang Jian spat out another mouthful of blood, his eyes dimmed and his heart hurt so much that he had lost consciousness. The hearts of the students outside the courtyard went deathly still, as if they had nothing to live for. Long Fei's eyes slightly closed. He wanted to wait for the system's notification to sound, but it did not. He checked the mission and it was the same. There was no change. The only change was the affability level between Long Fei and Aoya had gone from 199 to 999. Long Fei's heart skipped a beat. Damn, what's going on? I was clearly using brute force to ruthlessly crush her. It can be considered to be a conquest. Why did the affability level become negative 999 points? "Do you want to take my life?" Long Fei said angrily in his heart. He could not understand. He wasn't a woman, so he naturally wouldn't understand. Moreover, it was not enough for a woman like Aoya to just rely on her martial power to crush him, and what was Long Fei doing? This was called robbing while the fire was hot, and it was one of the methods that Aoya hated the most. She only had one goal, the insight into sword method and the blade waltz. As for other things, she had never thought of them. Agreeing to Long Fei was also for the sake of the sword. Because she promised her father that she would definitely complete the insight into sword method. At this time, Long Fei's heart had also crumbled a little, and he said, "Do you know what you need to do to be my woman?" Aoya's face slightly darkened. "Tell me about it." Long Fei said, "The most basic point is to laugh. I like women who laugh. Their faces are always stiff. It is as if someone owes you money. I do not like it. Now laugh for me." She didn't like to laugh. Long Fei said, "It was a forced laugh, but today you have passed. How about this? Come to my place tomorrow. Wang Qingshan will tell you where I live, then we can take our time." Long Fei did not want to stay any longer. He was worried that the affability level would increase again. He had never met a woman with an affability level of 999 points, so he was a little unsure. If he couldn't conquer by force, then he had to find a new way. Aoya said slightly, "All right, I understand." Finished. Long Fei then walked out. Just as he walked to the door, he was stopped by Ouyang Jian, who asked, "What's your name?" "That disciple of the College of Martial Arts Training?" Long Fei slightly turned his head to look back, and said, "My woman is very clear, you can ask her." With that, he left. 1 second kill. Such arrogance, such arrogance. However, Long Fei was not happy at all and did not take sword force King Kong down. Instead, he seemed to feel a trace of disgust from Aoya's eyes. He loathed the chance to rob people while they were still alive. However, Since he had already reached such a state, Long Fei had no other choice but to try his best to keep a distance from Aoya and see her as much as possible. Only then would he be able to improve the current awkward situation. Sword Force King Kong, what do I need to do to subdue you? Long Fei exhaled a long breath in his heart. He couldn't find any solutions at the moment. Yang Huang ancestor laughed, and here I thought you were really an expert at picking up girls. I didn't expect you to have a hard time too, ha ha ha. Long Fei glared contemptuously at the ancestor. In Aoya's courtyard, Ouyang Zhen looked at Aoya with a pale face and said, "Junior sister apprentice, just now, you really." Oya didn't wait for him to finish, she directly said, "Get out. In the future, you are not allowed to take even half a step into my yard without my permission." Ouyang Zhen trembled, he clenched both his fists tightly, and all of the hatred in his heart completely fell onto Long Fei's body, and he said slightly, "Junior sister apprentice, then you should rest well, I'll be going out first." Walking out of the courtyard, he closed the door. Ouyang Zhen roared in fury, "Ah! Go find out, immediately, who is that black man?" He had gone mad and gone mad. The woman he loved had actually agreed to become someone else's woman. How could he endure this? "Just you wait, kid. I will let you know about my, Ouyang Zhen's, methods," Ouyang Zhen said fiercely in his heart. In the yard, Oya was stunned on the spot, the corners of her eyes moist. Once upon a time, she had watched her father die under the sword of someone she knew well. Once upon a time, it was also because of this method of Long Fei's. Hatred faintly emerged from her heart. No matter if it was Long Fei's intention, or what it was, she only had one goal, to perfect the insight into sword skill. "Father, just you wait. I will definitely avenge you, I swear to God." Aoya clenched her fists. Her nails dug into the flesh, and dark red blood dripped down. The reason why Long Fei failed was because he didn't know Oya, didn't know her past. Li Yuanba knew about Li Yuanba's success, Lin Yusheng, his source spirit, and the Arhat's success. As for Aoya, Long Fei did not know about her past. The next day, God Emperor Academy was in an uproar. As the goddess Oya became a black woman, this topic directly rushed to the top of the wind and cloud ranking. The hearts of countless young men were shattered as well. Also, one more thing. The 3,000 plum trees at the back of the Azure Dragon College of Martial Arts training were sliced apart overnight by the incomparably sharp sword intent. The scene was a mess, as if the sword techniques were against the heavens. Everyone was discussing who this black man was. However, when one of them heard this news, he was so anxious that he was like an ant on a hot pan, hurriedly running towards logistics department. "It's over, it's over, it's all over." Chapter 823, Don't Submit, Just Do It. Chapter 823, Don't Submit, Just Do It. Long Fei got up very early, and wanted to go over to Qiu Wandao's place to take a look. Qiu Wandao was the contact point for Long Fei, Chen Tianfei, and Man Tuoluo. Before he could even walk out of the courtyard gate, he was stopped by Wang Qingshan. "It's over, it's all over." Wang Qingshan grabbed Long Fei, his face full of panic, and said, "Long Fei, you've gotten into big trouble." Long Fei was puzzled. "Senior fellow apprentice Wang, why are you singing today? I brought me to Oya's place yesterday. What do you want to do today?" "I'm telling you, I'm really not gay," Wang Qingshan said in a serious tone. "You're still in the mood to joke at a time like this? Let me ask you, are the rumors outside true?" Long Fei didn't know what kind of rumors were going around, nor did he know that the entire God Emperor Academy was in an uproar. Almost half of the people in the God Emperor Academy were looking for him. He had to skin Long Fei alive. Just like that, they took down the cold goddess in their hearts. Did they even need to live anymore? Long Fei asked, "What is the rumors about the outside world?" "You still don't know." Wang Qingshan slapped his brain, and said, "I really admire you. What happened in Teacher Aoya's courtyard yesterday afternoon? You forgot so quickly. Tell me the truth. Did you really do this to Teacher Oya?" Long Fei replied, "Nothing, just a beating." Wang Qingshan's gaze darkened as he looked at Long Fei as if he was looking at a monster. If Long Fei had not said it himself, he definitely would not have believed it. Oh my God, Wang Qingshan's little heart could not take it any longer, and she continued, let's not talk about this anymore. The fight had already started and what had happened was already happening. Wang Qingshan was truly regretful and should not have brought Long Fei to teacher Aoya's courtyard. He was full of regret now. Wang Qingshan continued, do you want teacher Oya to be your woman? And you even agreed to it in front of Ouyang Jian? Long Fei nodded her head, right, that's right, why isn't Aoya here? She said that she's here to learn sword techniques with me, why isn't she here? Wang Qingshan's body shook, and started to tremble lightly. He looked at Long Fei and said, young Master Long, this time you've really gotten into a lot of trouble. Long Fei said, senior fellow apprentice, please be clear, how did I get into big trouble? Wang Qingshan said, do you know who Ouyang Jian is? What's your identity? Long Fei did not mind, what does his status have to do with me? Wang Qingshan said, he is a teacher for the Azure Dragon College of Martial Arts Training, and the son of the Azure Dragon's principal. This is not even the most important thing. The most important thing is that he is the school's recognized Oya's fiancé, a match made between him and Oya, a perfect match made in heaven. Moreover, I heard that he is already at the stage of discussing marriage. You stole Oya away from Ouyang Jian. Long Fei, I have to say, I really admire you. Wang Qingshan was truly impressed. However, Long Fei had truly provoked someone he shouldn't have. At this moment, Han Xueji, Dao Feng, Zheng Qingsong had also rushed to logistics department. Ha ha ha. Young Master Long is powerful and domineering. Even Goddess Aoya was taken by you, you are too overbearing, ha ha ha. I really admire you so much. Zheng Qingsong said excitedly. Dao Feng's physique was exceptional, and after a month of recovery, he had more or less recovered. The reason he was doing so well so quickly was because he wanted to use the 2 blades that Long Fei gave him to cultivate as soon as possible. Dao Feng walked forward and asked, Long Fei, is all of this true? Han Xueji began to giggle, my man is mighty, he is domineering. Long Fei looked at their nervous expressions and asked, is the Azure Dragon College of Martial Arts Training that strong? To provoke Ouyang Jian, it was equivalent to provoking the entire Azure Dragon College of Martial Arts Training. Azure Dragon College of Martial Arts Training. The strongest college of martial arts training in God Emperor Academy was even stronger than the White Tiger College of Martial Arts Training in terms of combat strength. The Azure Dragon Battle Team of the 1st Battle Squad. The Sword Spirit Battle Group of the 2nd Group. These 2 groups were from the Azure Dragon College of Martial Arts Training. In the team rankings, the Azure Dragon College of Martial Arts Training had always been in the top 2. His fighting strength was extraordinary, a terrifying existence. Moreover, Ouyang Jian's face was now swept across the floor. His own woman had been snatched away by someone. How could he take this lying down? They would definitely suppress Long Fei. This was also because of Long Fei's darkness. For a moment, no one recognized him. Dao Feng said, strong, ridiculously strong. The disciples of the Azure Dragon College of Martial Arts Training S are the top existences in the entire God Emperor Academy, and out of the top 10 teams, formed by the disciples of the Azure Dragon College of Martial Arts Training S, there are only 6 members of the Azure Dragon Squadron who are ranked first. These 6 are the best among the students. Moreover, they are all Ouyang Jian's students. Listening to Dao Feng's words, Long Fei said blandly, damn, then we've really gotten into trouble. Wang Qingshan said, I did get into big trouble. Right. Long Fei took out an exquisite little dagger from his chest pocket and handed it over to Han Xueji, saying, senior sister, this time I didn't get any good stuff, this dagger is very compatible with you, so I left it for you. Han Xueji looked at the Scorpion King dagger in Long Fei's hands and was shocked. For me. The dagger was clearly no ordinary item. Han Xueji lacked this kind of dagger, and upon seeing this dagger, he immediately liked it. Long Fei replied, this is for you. Han Xueji was moved, and said, damn you, saying such words will make me fall in love with you. Following that, Long Fei took out the Scorpion Queen's egg and gave it to Zheng Qingsong. You're training in an array, close combat is your weakness, with this egg, you can hatch and train, I should be able to help you fight. Zheng Qingsong was also deeply moved. Dao Feng had dual blades, Han Xueji had daggers, Zheng Qingsong had Scorpion King War Pet. Wang Qingshan asked, "Young Master Long, what about me?" Long Fei said, Didn't you always want to cultivate the insight into sword skill? When Oya comes, I'll teach you together." Wang Qingshan was also instantly moved. Long Fei smiled slightly and said, "Do you still think that the Azure Dragon College of Martial Arts training is powerful? With these things, their overall strength would increase, and if it was really as they had said, Long Fei had to make some preparations to summon the super tank, Fatty Chen, into the arrogant dragon squad. There were still 2 months until the Academy's tournament. They needed to make proper preparations. Long Fei became excited and said, "No matter how strong he is, no matter what their identity is, do not be afraid, just do it. What Azure Dragon, White Tiger, Vermilion Bird, Black Tortoise, they all have to lie on the ground and become dead dogs in front of me." Long Fei was extremely arrogant. Azure Dragon? Even the Azure Dragon ancestor was within his body. Arrogant? Isn't he courting death? Everyone's blood began to boil. Chapter 824, Courting Death. Chapter 824, Courting Death. Although Long Fei was not afraid of the Azure Dragon Battle Team or the White Tiger College of Martial Arts Training, he knew that the arrogant Dragon Squad's strength alone was not enough to deal with him. If they went up with this kind of strength in the team competition, it would be hard for them to enter the top 10 even if they had Holy Artifact S. The top 10 teams were too strong. To enter the top 10, Long Fei's arrogant Dragon Squad was indeed a person. They lacked a supreme expert. Long Fei couldn't help but think of a girl as he muttered in his heart, "If only Song Qianqian was here, then it would be fine." 10 minutes later, Long Fei said, "There's still 2 more months, hurry up and cultivate." Everyone withdrew. Only Wang Qingshan stayed. Long Fei said, "You wait here, I'll go out and do nothing. If Aoya comes, you can let her wait with you." Finished. Long Fei then walked out. Wang Qingshan reminded him, "Young Master Long, please be careful. Cole, in Qiu Wandao's courtyard." "Ha ha ha. Good kid, you're really sharp." Qiu Wandao excitedly laughed out loud, and said, "Aoya's woman is no ordinary one. To think that she was actually subdued by Long Fei. I have to say, he is truly very intrepid." Man Tuoluo said, "Old Qiu, you're still laughing." Long Fei offended Ouyang Jian. Because of that, he is the son of the Azure Dragon's principal. The senior fellow apprentice of the Azure Dragon College of Martial Arts Training has already released word, as long as he sees Long Fei cripple him, he will. Chen Tianfei said, "I'm afraid of him, how dare he touch my boss? Then let's see who can cripple who." Chen Tianfei said fiercely. His current holy armor fairy vein had already broken through the 5th floor, and his defense was heaven-defying. Xiao Ying continued, "Not only the Azure Dragon College of Martial Arts Training, but our College of War Martial Arts, the Spiritual Elixir Academy, the Refining Department, and the 18 generations of College of Martial Arts Training's boys practically wanted to suppress Long Fei as his public enemy. Knocking off the goddess, she instantly became the public enemy of the people." Qiu Wandao still could not hold back and laughed, as expected of a member of the Long family. "You have balls. What's an Azure Dragon College of Martial Arts Training? If the 18 generations of College of Martial Arts Training dares to openly attack Long Fei, I will not forgive him," Qiu Wandao said in a domineering manner. He was already someone who had lived a life once, and was willing to throw caution to the wind. Moreover, his current cultivation had already reached the Golden Immortal Peak realm, and he was only missing 7-grade Immortal roots to break through to the Yuanxian realm. For Long Fei, he could sacrifice his life. It was also at this time. Long Fei walked into the courtyard. When he saw that everyone was present, he immediately became excited and asked, "Is everyone here?" Fatty Chen rushed forward and said, "Boss, you're too powerful, ha ha ha. The entire academy is talking about you." Xiao Ying asked, "Young Master Long, did you really take teacher Aoya down?" Man Tuoluo also curiously looked at Long Fei. Long Fei laughed bitterly and said, "It's not as mysterious as what the outside world says. My relationship with Aoya is a little stiff. I have come here today to learn some things about Aoya's past from Elder Qiu." He had been thinking about it all last night. What went wrong? Why did it not succeed? It was one thing if he did not succeed, but the affability level had directly soared to 999 points. However, Long Fei did not know why, but he knew there must be a reason behind it. Something must have gone wrong with the quest segment. Qiu Wandao said slightly, Aoya is a publicly acknowledged sword genius in God Emperor Academy. If we were to talk about her past, she should be her father. Long Fei asked, her father? Qiu Wandao said, her father was once the principal of the God Emperor Academy and also a great sword teacher. He was God Emperor Academy's strongest swordsman. Later on, because of a matter, he angered an elder of the Tongtian Hall of Immortals. The two of them shall duel. Father Aoya had suffered a terrible defeat and died. Logically speaking, his cultivation level shouldn't have been that far off from that elder from Tongtian Hall of Immortals. Even if he lost, he wouldn't have died. I heard that it was because of that elder's scheme that her mother was hurt first. He was making use of the strategy of attacking the heart to make Oya's father's heart chaotic. It was also because of this that he was killed. Only the two of them know the details. Long Fei secretly thought, so that's how it is. Did I touch that nerve in her heart yesterday? Huff. Seems like if I want to collect fees from the Sword Force King Kong, I have to find a way to catch the elder from the Heavenly Hall of Immortals. Long Fei thought, is this the key to the mission? After knowing all this, Long Fei's heart became more at ease. He looked at Qiu Wandao and asked, Old Qiu, how is your cultivation recovered? Qiu Wandao laughed excitedly. Brat, what's more, what a powerful skill. The azure-robed elder laughed as well. Awesome. The two of them were just short of Tier 7 immortal roots. However, these Tier 7 immortal roots were even more precious than holy artifact. It would be extremely difficult to obtain a Tier 7 immortal root. Long Fei laughed. That's good. What about you? Long Fei looked at Fatty Chen and the others. The profound spirit chi on their bodies had also become much stronger, and their rapid improvement in God Emperor Academy was also due to Long Fei's provocation. Man Tuoluo said, I have already merged with the poison spirit immortal root that you gave me last time. I should be able to step into the virtual immortal stage before the Great Academy competition. Fatty Chen said, I still lack Tier 4 immortal roots. If I have immortal roots, I should be able to enter the virtual immortal stage before the large competition. Xiao Ying said, I am currently at the 3rd stage of crazy laughter. All of them had very large improvements. Long Fei said, Alright, Fatty, I will think of a way to obtain your 4th grade immortal foundation. When the time comes, the two of you can join my arrogant dragon squad. Qiu Wandao stared blankly for a moment, then said, You brat, do you really want to clash head-on with the Azure Dragon College of Martial Arts Training, White Tiger College of Martial Arts Training? Long Fei said, Even though I am now an official disciple, no College of Martial Arts Training would dare to accept me. That day, I swore to trample all 18 generations of College of Martial Arts Training. I want to see just how strong the Pan family is, just how strong Jiyu Wuji is in God Emperor Academy. He had to step on it. If Blood Skeleton wanted to stomp the Azure Dragon College of Martial Arts Training's team, if they dared to mess with him, he would do the same. In here, Long Fei needed to stir up a sensation in the God Emperor Academy. He needed to create a huge commotion to raise his visibility, raise the Long family's and the South Horizon region's visibility. Also, he needed money, and he did not have any clue as to how to research new medicine pills. He had to make a name for himself in the alchemy competition and make the Fengyuan Merchant Union represent him and rise to prominence. Qiu Wandao asked, What can we help you with? Huh? Long Fei stared blankly before saying, I almost forgot about you guys. How many people around me need to raise their cultivation? Can you help guide them? Long Fei thought of Dao Feng, Han Shueji, and the other two. Qiu Wandao laughed, No problem. I guarantee they will evolve within 2 months. Suddenly, an anxious voice sounded from outside the courtyard. Fan Tong's voice anxiously shouted, Young Master Long, it's bad, it's bad. The senior fellow apprentice of the Azure Dragon College of Martial Arts Training has already attacked the logistics department and injured him. Long Fei was instantly enraged and shouted, Damn it, Azure Dragon College of Martial Arts Training, you're courting death. 6 chapters in the morning, and if there was time in the afternoon, the sea would write a little more. Chapter 8:25, Crushing the Earth. Chapter 8:25, Crushing the Earth. He just said not to provoke him, and now he's coming. Moreover, the green dragon Matriel Hall had made a move on them, or had made a move on them. That would be even more so when touching Long Fei's divine level anger. Leader Sun and the others did not have a high level of cultivation or talent, but they were the first group of brothers that Long Fei had met in the God Emperor Academy. It could be said that the Sun Datu and the rest had been of great help to Long Fei, and was an indispensable force. Now that the Sun Datu had been beaten up, Long Fei could not sit still for a moment. If you touch my brother, I will break that hand of his. Long Fei angrily rushed out. Chen Tianfei immediately said, Boss, wait for me. Xiao Ying and Man Tuoluo also quickly chased after him. Qiu Wandao slowly got up and said, It's time to go out and exercise. Otherwise, the people from God Emperor Academy would really think that we two old fellows have died. Elderly in green stood up, let's go. Green Dragon Matriel Hall had a very high profile. Along the way, they followed many other disciples of the College of Martial Arts Training. They all wanted to see how Long Fei was crushed by the Green Dragon Matriel Hall S. They all thought this was too vile. Why? Would a service disciple be able to lure their goddess away? Why? They couldn't accept it. The four of them were supposed to leave logistics department immediately, but now that they saw that Long Fei was not around, they felt relieved in their hearts. Speak. Where did that bastard go? A young man in his early 20s grabbed onto Sun Datu's hair and pulled it up before smashing it onto the ground heavily. Bam! Sun Datu's nose was broken, blood spurted out and said, I don't know. In the yard. The dozen or so disciples of logistics department were all lying on the ground with painful expressions on their faces. Dao Feng, who had just arrived, walked out and said, Senior brother, they are only service disciples, why must you make things difficult for them? The man's eyes turned cold. Shua. Seemingly teleporting, he landed in front of Dao Feng. The corners of his mouth turned cold as he laughed. They are service disciples, you mean? Before he could finish, his aura changed dramatically. Boom. A powerful force burst out from his palm, striking towards Dao Feng's chest. Wang Qingshan shouted loudly, Senior brother, be careful. Dao Feng's eyes darkened, his hands moved, both blades pulled out from the sheath on his chest. Bam! His strength was too strong, even protecting his chest was not enough to withstand the powerful impact, so Dao Feng was directly flung out 10 meters. He pushed off with his rear foot and only managed to stabilize himself after leaning against the wall. Heh! The Green Dragon Matriel Hall disciple acted as if he had been humiliated, a trash like you can actually block my palm strike, then let's see what else you can do. Whoosh 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 whoosh, asterisk his hands formed claws. Roar, roar, roar. Several deep dragon roars rang out in the air. They were like the roars of an azure dragon, but they were not as imposing as the dragon roars. After all, he only trained in the Azure Dragon Claw, a type of cultivation technique. Green Dragon Claw. This is bad. Senior brother, run. Wang Qingshan's face was anxious. At this time, he did not care about anything else, and the sword in his hand was suddenly pulled out, shockingly fast. A sword came slashing down. However, at this moment, another Green Dragon Matriel Hall disciple moved. You like to play, right? I'll accompany you. Shua. The sword in his hand was unsheathed, and the speed at which he unsheathed it was not slower than Wang Qingshan, maybe even by a bit, and the sword in his hand instantly released a powerful sword chi, blocking Wang Qingshan. Ah! Zheng Qingsong roared, and started forming the array. Too slow. Get down. A formation master from the Green Dragon Matriel Hall formed a formation with one hand. Before Zheng Qingsong could release the power of the formation, he opened his palm and shot out an array with one hand. The powerful force directly smashed Zheng Qingsong to the ground. Han Xueji immediately followed. She raised her speed to the limit and attacked. Just at this speed. So weak. The figure of another disciple from the Green Dragon Matriel Hall blurred, and like a mirage, he landed in front of Han Xueji. Without waiting for her to make a move, he punched out. Buzz. The fierce energy emitted from his fist formed an air shield. The air shield looked like it was solid. Han Xueji's speed was too fast. He simply did not have time to change his direction, and he did not have enough time to stop, so he collided head-on. Bam! His body jerked and was sent flying. His face was incomparably pale. Besides, Dao Feng's blades moved. Seeing the disciple rush forward, the pressure of the green dragon claw crushed his heart. He instantly raised his cultivation to the maximum. Ah! With a move of his 2 blades, his figure teleported out. Too slow. Trash is trash. With that, the azure dragon claw grabbed at the empty air. Bang! There was a dull sound. Clang! A scimitar fell down. Roar! Another claw descended, and fiercely grabbed Dao Feng's other arm. Clang! The other half of the scimitar fell to the ground as well. With a loud roar, the image of a dragon claw appeared in the air and fiercely clawed at Dao Feng's head. Crush him down from the air. Boom! With a huge sound, Dao Feng's entire body smashed into the ground, causing the ground to crack and the entire logistics department to tremble. Dao Feng spat out a mouthful of fresh blood within the deep pit, and his face was deathly pale. All of this happened within a second. Arrogant Dragon Squad, 4. Instantly killed. He was completely unable to resist at all. The most important thing was that these people were only the Green Dragon Matrial Hall's level 3 disciples. Their strength completely surpassed the 4 of them. The surrounding disciples all had faces full of shock. Too strong. He's too damn strong. Green Dragon Matrial Hall is indeed the #1 college of martial arts training, the strongest one. They are only 3rd level disciples. If they were 2nd level or 1st level disciples, just how strong would they be? Unimaginable. At this moment, a Green Dragon Matrial Hall disciple who did not make a move slowly walked over, and coldly sneered, "Arrogant Dragon Squad? TSK. Trash." Following that person walked in front of Dao Feng and said with contempt, "Tell Long Fei to stay far away from Teacher Oya, otherwise, I will make him regret coming to this world." Disdain was written all over his face. They didn't put these people in their eyes at all. Moreover, he also had the right to do so, because he was the disciple of the Green Dragon Matrial Hall, the strongest existence in the God Emperor Academy. Finished. That person's gaze swept across them and sneered, "Not even worth a single blow. Return to College of Martial Arts Training." The man made a soft sound and was about to leave. It was at this moment. Zheng Qingsong suddenly stood up and asked, "Do you dare to leave your name behind?" Everyone was shocked. Was this person crazy? Haven't you had enough? Chapter 826, Disbanding of the Team. Chapter 826, Disbanding of the Team. Zheng Qingsong was looking at that person. Han Xueji was also watching. Wang Qingshan was also watching. Dao Feng also crawled out of the pit and looked at him. The man stopped and looked at Zheng Qingsong with a sneer. "What? You still want to take revenge on me? Was he reporting about law enforcement agency? Or do you want to report to the president of your court?" Zheng Qingsong shook his head and said, "No, I just wanted to let young Master Long know your name." "Young Master Long? Humph. He doesn't even have the right to know my name." That person laughed disdainfully as he looked at the 4 of them. "However, I'll make an exception this time. Tu Zhon, he gave you the nickname of Butcher. I'll remember it. Tell him to stay away from Aoya. Aoya is one of us, Instructor Ouyang's women. If he dares to provoke her again, we won't forgive him." Finished. Tu Zhon shouted, "Let's go." The surrounding disciples quickly retreated as well. This battle was simply too fierce. The Green Dragon Matrial Hall that was always quiet suddenly erupted, shocking everyone present. It also caused a great shock to the God Emperor Academy's team. They were truly too powerful. Arrogant Dragon Squad's group of 4 were all killed in an instant. This was not even the strongest disciple of the Green Dragon Matrial Hall. If it was the strongest, I am afraid. One person was enough. Dao Feng sat against the wall. Wang Qingshan, Han Xueji, Zheng Qingsong and the others were all silent. They hadn't noticed it before, but now they finally realized that they were too weak to withstand a single blow. They were also suspecting it. With his strength, would he be able to participate in the team ranking competition? How could he compete with those 4 Matrial Hall's battle teams? They would only drag Long Fei down, and would only drag him down. Without Long Fei, they were nothing. This feeling continued to surge through his mind. In a world where the powerhouse was the most respected, the competition was too cruel. The weak were all trampled on by the powerhouse, they hated themselves for being weak. Half an hour. There was no sound in the yard. Who King bullied my brother? Long Fei was furious, as he descended from the skies and stepped heavily into the courtyard. It would take 2 hours to travel from the mountain valley to the logistics department. Long Fei had only used 10 minutes to travel. He was worried that something might happen to his brothers. The instant he landed, he looked at Leader Sun and the others, as well as Dao Feng and the others. He was still a step too late. Cluck, cluck, cluck. Long Fei clenched his fists tightly, his teeth chattering loudly. He said each word, Green Dragon Matrial Hall. He turned around and rushed out. I want to destroy your entire college of martial arts training. At this moment, Dao Feng, Wang Qingshan, the 4 of them said at almost the same time. Young Master Long, don't go. Fat Men Chen and Man Tuoluo had also rushed over, and watched as the rest of the logistics department was flipped upside down. Fat Men Chen also said, Boss, you can't go. Man Tuoluo said, Long Fei, you can't go. Green Dragon Matrial Hall is much stronger than you can imagine. Finished. She quickly took out a healing pill and gave it to him. Qiu Wandao slowly descended, looked at Long Fei's face filled with anger, and said, Your current cultivation is indeed not a match for those super monstrous geniuses of the Green Dragon Matrial Hall. Long Fei, it won't be too late for a gentleman to take revenge for 10 years. Long Fei said, That is a gentleman, I am not a gentleman. Whoever dares to provoke my brother, I will kill them. The anger in Long Fei's heart continued to roil about. Elderly in green said, Long Fei, if you want to step on Green Dragon Matrial Hall, you have to do so in public. Aren't Green Dragon Matrial Hall's team strong? Then we'll step on them in the team ranking competition. This is the best way to get revenge, Sun Datu said. Long Fei, they are right. Long Fei's personality really could not be suppressed. It wouldn't be too late for a gentleman to take revenge for 10 years. However, just as they had said, the map's speed was too fast. If one wanted to step on it, they had to step on Green Dragon Matrial Hall in front of the entire academy. Isn't Ouyang Jian a teacher in the Green Dragon Troopers? Isn't he the son of Green Dragon Matrial Hall's courtyard? Isn't that the #1 male god in God Emperor Academy? Then he would slap his face ruthlessly in front of everyone. Long Fei clenched both of his fists tightly, His nails dug into the flesh of his palms, and dark red blood started to drip down from the gaps of his fingers. Good. He endured it. He had to bear with it. It was not because of what they had said, nor was it because he was afraid. It was because he wanted to slap Green Dragon Matrial Hall in his face in front of everyone. All obstacles would become a stepping stone for him and would only make him stronger. Everyone followed suit and relaxed. It was also at this time. Dao Feng looked at Long Fei, gritted his teeth, and said, Long Fei, I know that I shouldn't be saying these things at this time, but Long Fei, find a stronger disciple to join the team. At this time, Han Xueji also smiled faintly and said, Damn it, sister will also leave. Wang Qingshan said, I will also retreat. Zheng Qingsong looked at the 3 of them, and said, I am the most useless among them, the one who should withdraw from the team the most. They didn't want to retreat. If this continued, it would only drag Long Fei down, and would only become an obstacle for Long Fei. They did not want to become a burden. Originally, they had thought that they would still be able to fight. At least, when they met Xiong Feng, they thought they could still use him a little and attack him a little. But the 4 level 3 disciples of Green Dragon Matrial Hall had completely destroyed their confidence just now. The difference in power was simply too great. If it was a battle of life or death, they would have been instantly killed. Rather than that, it would be better to just leave the battle and let Long Fei recruit more powerful members, in order to help him. Long Fei was stunned. He looked at the 4 of them and asked, Why? Senior brother Dao Feng, don't tell me you don't want to enter the top 10? Don't you want to take back everything and prove yourself? Senior sister Han, senior brother Wang, Senior brother Zheng, none of you want to? Man Tuoluo pulled Long Fei and whispered, they don't want to implicate you. Long Fei said, you're implicating me? Is that your reason? In this world, one must live a wonderful life, and one must fight to their heart's content. Right now, we are weak, but we still have 2 months. Why should we admit defeat right now? Dao Feng said, Young Master Long, your talent, cultivation, and potential are all higher than the monsters in Green Dragon Material Hall, but we are not, we cannot keep up with your tempo, and will only be a burden to you, we do not wish to become your burden. He really wanted to participate. However, he would only drag Long Fei back. Long Fei said, a single failure and you guys turning out like this. Have you forgotten the moral of our Kwong Long team? You are even crazier than a dragon above the 9th heaven, and now you all are saying that you will withdraw. Long Fei said solemnly. Then we might as well disband the team. Long Fei shouted in anger. There was a fire in his heart. It was not because they were crushed by the Green Dragon Material Hall's disciples, but because Dao Feng and the others could not recover from their defeat. What was a failure? That year, when he was smashed to the ground by Hong Tianjun, if it wasn't for Liu Luoshi kneeling down and begging for forgiveness, he would already be dead. He was the same back then, but he didn't want to see Dao Feng like this right now. Because, if you are afraid, you will lose your whole life. Chapter 8:27, Hades Sea. Chapter 8:27, Hades Sea. He had to survive this trial. It would be a new world after that. His heart would become stronger. Long Fei didn't know what to say. He didn't know how to comfort them, how to let them regain their spirits. At the same time, he also knew that this blow was too heavy for them. But it wasn't a bad thing for them, if they could make it through. Long Fei looked at them and said, if you leave, then disband the team. If everyone doesn't play, then it's no use for me to play by myself. What kind of dream is this? It's all bullshit. Revenge for the blood skeleton? What a joke. Long Fei started to despise her ruthlessly. He wanted to throw the confidence of Dao Feng and the others into the abyss, because only then would he be able to undergo nirvana rebirth. Of course. It just depended on whether Dao Feng and the others could handle it. Long Fei hugged his hands and stood by the side. The atmosphere in the courtyard had turned silent, just like that. 1 hour. 2 hours. 3 hours. No one said anything. Suddenly, Zheng Qingsong suddenly stood up. Damn it, I'm giving it my all. At worst, I'll just die. Young Master Long, I'll do it with you. In the next 2 months, even if I die, I will become stronger. My life will be hard to come by. I, Zheng Qingsong, do not want to be a coward in this lifetime. F***CK. His voice broke the silence. Wang Qingshan also stood up. I don't want to continue being such a coward. I don't want to see the disciples of Green Dragon Material Hall unable to raise their heads either. I don't want teacher to know that I was defeated by a single sword strike. F***CK. Long Fei's eyes became excited, and the 3 of them looked at Han Shueji. Han Shueji smiled lightly and said, you damned ghost, what do you want me to do? Huh. Xiao Ying and Man Tuoluo were immediately startled, and looked at Han Shueji. Long Fei laughed. I'll let you do it. Han Shueji chuckled and said, then let's do it. In the end, only Dao Feng remained. Dao Feng picked up the 2 blades on the ground and let out a heavy breath. How many times do I have to fight in my life? So what if I die in the arena? 1 word, fuck. Ha ha ha. Long Fei laughed excitedly. He felt even better than the Berserk boss. He said, this is true madness. How about failure once? To be able to stand up again after failure and to continue fighting, that is madness. Qiu Wandao, who was standing at the side, looked at Long Fei with blazing eyes. Unknowingly, his fists were clenched tightly under his sleeves, and his blood was boiling. Was infected by the spirit of Long Fei. Qiu Wandao muttered to himself, the young master is mighty. Elderly in green was the same, it's good to be young. I really want to be a few dozen years younger and have a fierce battle with him, turning the world upside down, then my life would be perfect. Qiu Wandao smiled lightly, it's not too late now. The 2 of them looked at Xiong Longfei at the same time, their eyes were filled with excitement. How happy will Master be if he sees this? Ha ha ha. Mistress should be coming out soon, right? Soon. Dao Feng and the others had stepped past this hurdle. The next step was how to cultivate it. Long Fei said, "Let me introduce him to you. This is my brother Chen Tianfei, College of Martial Arts Training, and this is Man Tuoluo, College of Martial Arts Training Spirit Poison. They will also join our arrogant dragon squad. This is Xiao Ying, she is in charge of logistics for our team." And then, Long Fei walked in front of Qiu Wandao and said, "The former dean is also your teacher for the past 2 months. He will let you spend 2 months in hell. 2 months from now, I want to see you guys in a different state. Do you understand?" Qiu Wandao smiled faintly, and said, "Muggles, my methods are very cruel. If you can't take it, then just leave." At this moment, Dao Feng and the others were excited. What kind of existence was the dean? He was once the most powerful powerhouse. If they could receive his guidance, then wouldn't they have to go to heaven? Dao Feng's heart burned, Wang Qingshan and the others did the same, the hot blood in their hearts burned bit by bit. In the next 2 months, they would fight to the death. He wouldn't step back even if he had to sacrifice his life. The 4 of them did not return to their residence, and were instead brought back to the mountain hollow by the elderly in green. The courtyard was not as simple as it looked, there were too many secrets within, which was why Qiu Wandao had not left the place. Qiu Wandao looked at Long Fei, and said, "I will allow them a qualitative leap within 2 months. What about you? What are you going to do next?" Long Fei said, "Breakthrough." His level was still too low. The higher one's level was, the more one would realize that the difference in strength between their levels was like the difference between heaven and earth. Long Fei asked, "Presbyter Qiu, do you know where the Sea of Hell King is?" Qiu Wandao's expression tensed up, and asked, "Why do you ask about this place?" "This place is an unknown domain and also the territory of the gods' martial continent. Furthermore, it is extremely close to the Western Desel territory. It's too dangerous, you can't go there. In the Sea of Hades, a place of the dragon body tomb," Long Fei said, "I will be careful. During this time, help me take care of them and the brothers from the service courtyard." Qiu Wandao said, "Must you go?" Long Fei said, "I have to go." The more dangerous the demon beast, the stronger it was. The more there were, the higher level it would be to him. There were only 2 months until the academy competition. He had to use his absolute strength to crush everything. White Tiger Kung Fu Tribe, Green Dragon Matrial Hall, he had to overpower them. Qiu Wandao did not stop him. There was no reason for him to stop him, so he said slightly, "Long Fei, you must be careful. You must be careful of Magic Tribe. Don't let them find out who you are." Qiu Wandao was very worried in his heart. Nether King's Sea was too dangerous. Millions of years ago, it was the most dangerous place in God's martial continent, and the danger level was even higher than it was in Dragonhead Mountain. The key was, that was Western Desel Territory's territory. The Western Devil Lord also knew about the prophecy, that only the people of the Long family could make it. All of Qiu Wandao was worried. No one could stop Long Fei from making his decision. He had to do it, he had to level up, and obtain even more power. The head of the Yuan Long had already been fused. Next was the dragon's body, dragon's tail, and finally the dragon domain's dragon claws. He wanted to become the head of all dragons, looking down on the world. Qiu Wandao left. Long Fei did not stay, and directly walked towards the task hall. Green Dragon Matrial Hall. Tu Zhon's face carried a hint of satisfaction, and said, "Teacher Ouyang, that brat is so scared that he doesn't dare to come out. What arrogant dragon squad, they're just a bunch of trash." Ouyang Jian smiled. "Long Fei didn't come out," Tu Zhon said. "He doesn't dare. If he dares to come out, I will immediately make him kneel on the ground and beg for forgiveness." It was also at this time. A disciple walked in and said, reporting to teacher Ouyang. Ouyang Jian said, "Speak." The disciple said, "I found out that Long Fei went to the task hall just now, and wanted to take on a mission. I'm not sure where he is going right now." "Understood, you may leave." Ouyang Jian's eyes turned sinister as he looked at Tu Zhon. Tu Zhon's lips curled up, his eyes filled with killing intent, and said, "Disciple understands, as long as he leaves God Emperor Academy, he will be a dead man." Chapter 828, Hade's Blood. Chapter 828, Hade's Blood Task Hall. Long Fei had to bring a mission to be able to use the teleportation gate to leave the academy, if not he would have to leave. Standing under the mission screen, he was still looking for the alchemy points mission. When it was really checked. "Heh!" A voice came from behind him. Long Fei pretended to be shocked, and turned to look. "Little junior sister, it's you." The little junior sister at the mission window, her name is Ling Long, looked at Long Fei and giggled, saying, "Senior brother, you're here to receive another mission?" Approaching Long Fei, he whispered, "Senior brother, you are so powerful, to think that you could actually take down the goddess teacher, I really admire you." He did not dare make it too loud, as he was afraid of bringing unnecessary trouble to Long Fei. Long Fei laughed bitterly and changed the topic. "Don't you have to cultivate?" Linglong said, "I have a mission today." "Right. Senior brother, didn't you say last time that you would bring me along?" Linglong looked at Long Fei with her two large eyes that were unmoving. Its killing power was extremely powerful. Long Fei said, "This time won't do, next time is fine." He did not hesitate at all. This time, he was going to the Sea of the Underworld King, which was an extremely dangerous place. He could not let a little girl accompany him there. Linglong pursed her lips and whispered, "I knew you were lying." He had a little temper. It looked even more cute and pitiful. However, a mission was a mission, and danger was danger. Long Fei would not bring her along because she was cute, because the Sea of the Underworld Kings was too dangerous. Long Fei said indifferently, "This time, the place I am going is very dangerous. Next time, I will definitely bring you there." "Danger?" Linglong immediately replied, "I'm not afraid of the danger. Senior brother, take me with you." "Huh?" Long Fei was startled, and said, "Endless mountains?" Other than the Endless Mountains, there was also the Western Desel territory. On Long Fei's map, according to the Presbyter Chiu, the Sea of Hell King was also close to the Endless Mountains. Linglong said, "I'm still lacking a few spirit grass, only amongst the Endless Mountains. I want to go to the Endless Mountains, and the place you're going, will it be dangerous where the Endless Mountains are?" "You want to go to the Endless Mountains?" Long Fei was shocked. Looking at the little girl in front of him, he asked, "Are you joking?" Linglong said, "You look down on me." Long Fei quickly said, "No, I just feel that it's too dangerous for a little girl like you to go to that kind of place. If you need any spirit grass, I'll bring them back for you." Long Fei looked at the map, and only the Endless Mountains had a teleportation circle, and it was very dangerous. If Linglong were to go, it would be even more dangerous. Linglong said, "I only know when I see those spirit grass." Huff. Long Fei exhaled, and said, "What other tasks does the Endless Mountains have to earn alchemy points?" Linglong replied without thinking, "I do. The Nether King's Sea God's Blood from the Unknown Domain is the mission with the highest points in alchemy. It's an SS grade mission with a task credit of up to 300 points. The mission lasted for 2 years, and no one has finished it yet. No one has even found that place, and there were no quest marks on it. They only knew that it was close to the Endless Mountains." Long Fei's heart trembled. Unknowing Domain, Nether King's Sea God's Blood? All right. This one. Long Fei made up his mind. If he could get enough points for the alchemy mission this time, then it would be for the best. Following that, Long Fei then walked towards the mission window. Linglong was shocked. She only wanted to scare Long Fei a little, but did not expect him to accept this mission, so she immediately ran over to stop Long Fei. "Senior brother, this person is too dangerous, I can't accept him." For the past 2 years, many teams have tried to challenge this quest, but none of them succeeded. Not to mention, as they got closer to the Western Desel territory, the Master of Magic tribes breaking through the seal became even more dangerous. Long Fei said, "Danger is fun. Being able to bring a quest out was the best." His goal was Dragon Body Tomb, next was to break through to the next level, and the best case scenario would be the Alchemy Points mission, which would be placed last in the list of mission points. Green Dragon Matrial Hall gave him too much pressure. This forced Long Fei to reconsider whether or not he had time to participate in the alchemy competition. He had to do his best in the team ranking competition. Advancing was very important. Nether King's Sea God's Blood Quest. Long Fei said to the window, and then handed over his identity plate. The disciple did not speak further, and helped Long Fei to record everything. Ling Long looked at Long Fei in shock. Senior brother, you really took this mission? It's really dangerous. She had worked in the task hall for a period of time and had read through many impossible missions. The mission of the Nether King's Sea God's Blood was to be ranked third in terms of being unable to complete it. The unknown domain was extremely dangerous. As they approached the infernal domain, the danger level multiplied. Ever since the Master of Magic tribe, no one went to complete the missions for the Nether King's Sea God's Blood. Long Fei smiled. I have already accepted the mission. Didn't you want to go to the Endless Mountains? It just happens to be along the way, so I'll bring you along with me. Ling Long was a little touched, and said, Senior brother, it can't be that you have to accept this mission because of me, right? If you finish it, you'll need to deduct points. He was immediately moved. Ling Long was a girl who could be easily moved. Both of his eyes brimmed with tears as he looked at Long Fei and said, Senior brother, you are very good. Yang Huang ancestor laughed. Brat, little miss is about to fall for you. Long Fei disdained in his heart. Ancestor, can you not be so brutal? Yang Huang ancestor said, You are the beast. The two of them walked out of task hall and headed towards the teleportation circle. After they left the task hall, a disciple walked up to the mission window and asked, What kind of mission did he take? Hade's blood. And then, 10 minutes later, Green Dragon Matrial Hall, Ouyang Zhen's courtyard. Teacher Ouyang, that brat Long Fei went to the Endless Mountains, and he even brought along the Elixir Martial Arts Branches class flowers. A disciple reported. Ouyang Zhen was enraged. Not only are you stealing my woman, you're also playing with other women. Long Fei, let's see how long you can continue being so arrogant for. At this moment, Tu Zhon stood up and laughed coldly. You're at Endless Mountains, right? Heh. Since he left the God Emperor Academy, then he is already on the road to death. Tu Zhon said to Ouyang Zhen, Teacher Ouyang, I will make sure that he will never return. Ouyang Zhen smiled faintly. Tu Zhon's cultivation was at the peak of the third level of Green Dragon Matrial Hall disciples, so taking down Long Fei was a piece of cake. Ouyang Zhen's mouth curved up as he watched Tu Zhon walk out. He sneered, You dog, you want to fight with me for a woman? Chapter 829, Killing the Disciples of Magic Tribe. Chapter 829, Killing the Disciples of Magic Tribe. The Green Dragon Matrial Hall was very strong. Ouyang Zhen's connections were wide. With a single word from him, groups and groups of people would work for him. One of Tu Zhon's. He believed in Tu Zhon's strength. He was an outstanding existence amongst the level 3 disciples. Moreover, he had promised Tu Zhon that as long as he could handle this matter well, he would be the only one who could train in Outer Space Palace. Relying on the influence of the Green Dragon Matrial Hall, he was now his father's principal. Knowing that the Academy's competition would decide a group of elite disciples to train in the Outer Space Palace, it wouldn't be difficult for them to nurture Devil Slayer. It could be said. Basically, all the elders of the 4 Matrial Halls knew about it. If the disciples of their College of Martial Arts training could enter the Outer Space Palace to cultivate, then this would be a huge opportunity. Whoever entered the Outer Space Palace with more disciples would have the chance to become the new dean. 10 minutes later, the formation was over. Buzz. Long Fei and Ling Long landed. This was a relatively secretive array, located deep within Endless Mountains. However, the instant the two of them landed, swish. The 8 spears circled around and pointed at their throats. One of them sneered, We've waited half a year for one to arrive. Brat, you're lucky today, ha ha ha. Finally, we didn't wait in vain. To intentionally leave behind a teleportation formation that didn't break is just for you to walk right into our trap, ha ha ha. The trash of the God Emperor Academy. When the inner master of Magic Tribe of Endless Mountains did not have the breaking through the seal, there were many teleportation circle, but the gathering was destroyed. Only the most secret. It wasn't that they didn't want to destroy it, but that their abilities couldn't be destroyed at all. Long Fei looked at the formation beneath his feet and his heart trembled slightly. Dragon Clan's outpost teleportation formation, It was the same as the teleportation formation he had seen in the Eternal Mountain Range, and perhaps a bit stronger. After fusing with the head of the Yuan Long, the current Long Fei could clearly feel the aura of the dragon race within the array. Even though millions of years had passed, the array was still filled with dense energy. The Green Dragon Ancestor said, "The dragon race has set up many array formations in the gods' martial continent. Although some of them have been destroyed due to the depletion of their energy, most of them have been preserved. When you truly become the master of the dragon domain, you will be able to reactivate all of the formations." These magic formations were also one of the most powerful areas of the dragon clan. Long Fei slightly pulled Linglong behind him and said, "Don't be afraid." Linglong did not look afraid. Instead, her eyes narrowed, and she entered a battle state, saying, "I am not afraid." "Yo! There's also a lively girl. Ha ha ha. Brothers, today we will be able to eat meat. This little girl is so beautiful. Just one look at her will be enough to captivate people." A magic tribeman's eyes lit up. His Adam's apple rolled along his saliva. "Little beauty, come and play with us. Don't worry, we'll definitely make you want to die, hey." Ha ha ha. Everyone else laughed. Long Fei's gaze tightened with killing intent, and the dragon Salia in his hand dropped. "You're courting death. Ha." The chi in the air moved, a burst of Slay's power immediately shot out, the blade moved, and cut. Shua. The saber chi that was like a thin slit came slicing down. Crack. The wretched man from Magic Tribe was split into two, followed by the system's notification sound. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for getting 1,300 experience points, 200 power of celestial points, and 10 energy values points. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Fairy Stones 1. Instant kill. The other 7 didn't react immediately. Long Fei pulled Linglong and suddenly rushed out of the encirclement, reminding her, "Follow behind me, don't run around." It was also at this time. The other 7 disciples of Magic Tribes rushed forward. "Brat, you're dead meat. Kill him. Don't let him live." With his left hand, he protected Linglong and his right hand held the dragon Salia. Facing the 7 of them, he was practically slashing them one after another, slashing 6 times in a row, instantly using Slay. The system kept beeping out notifications. The last man fell to the ground in fright, both hands on the ground as he fell back. "Don't kill me, don't kill me." Long Fei said, "I don't mind not killing you. How many strongholds do you have in the Endless Mountains? Tell me how many there are. I have to find out." That person immediately said, "There are 4 strongholds with a total of 1,000 people. We are only a small team. Please spare me. Don't kill me, I won't dare to do it again." He continued to plead for mercy. However, the corner of Long Fei's mouth lifted as he laughed coldly and slashed the dragon Salia in his hand. The man was so scared that his face turned pale. "I told you everything. Didn't you say you wouldn't kill me?" Long Fei said, "Is that so? Did I say that? Why can't I remember?" He had to be killed. Not killing Linglong was a disaster, and their insults to Linglong were close to death. Then again, if he were to return alive, he would definitely contact the other disciples of Magic Tribe to kill them. Right now, Long Fei had no interest to play with them. Crack. As the knife landed, the man let out a miserable scream. "You will die too, just you wait." Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for getting 1200 EXP for defeating Magic Tribe subordinate Luo, 100 power of celestial and 10 energy values. He didn't have anything else for killing 8 people consecutively, but he received 80 points of striking energy value. Only after encountering berserk attacks from the boss did he feel good. Long Fei looked at the 8 corpses, then looked at Linglong, and said, "You're not scared, right?" Linglong shook her head, and said, "Senior brother, you clearly said that you won't kill him, but why did you kill him in the end?" She couldn't understand. Long Fei looked at Linglong and said, "You're too naive." He did not explain and said, "Let's go. If you don't go through some things, you'll never understand them." Growing up was like this. Linglong didn't like to kill people, and she didn't like to kill anyone, no matter who it was. Seeing Long Fei's back as he was walking further away, Linglong immediately followed him. A few minutes later, a white light flashed on the formation. 5 people appeared on the formation. Tu Zhon's small team was the group of 5 who had crushed Dao Feng in the morning. Facing any enemy, Tu Zhon liked to crush them. It was an absolute crush, so when the opponent was sprawled on the ground, he would crush them until they couldn't stand up. Thus he brought his recently formed team over. He wanted Long Fei to lie on the ground and not be able to stand up. Tu Zhon looked at the corpses around him and laughed coldly. Seems like you still have some strength. At this time, a disciple said, Boss, 2 people in the southwest direction. Their speed is not fast. Tu Zhon raised his gaze and said, Chase. As soon as he finished, the 5 of them were like a jungle cheetah as they swiftly made their way out. Chapter 8:30 Fairy Beast. Chapter 8:30 Fairy Beast in another place. Palace Question of God, Supreme God Courtyard. 19 phantoms appeared in the courtyard. Supreme God, Long Fei went to the Sea of Hell King. Supreme God smiled faintly. His smile was filled with satisfaction and said, Nether King's Sea, Dragon Body Tomb, looks like Long Fei is going to open up the second Dragon God's tomb. All right. Very good, very good. The Supreme God was extremely satisfied as he said, when he finds all the dragon tombs, then it will probably be the day the dragon domain opens, ha ha ha. He had long since known about the Nether King's Sea's dragon body tomb. He also knew that the Wild's family did not destroy his entire clan, and that Long Wushan did not even kill a single person that day. From the looks of it, some secrets cannot be kept. 19 said lightly, Sir, the Sea of Hell King is too close to the Western Desel territory. Is he in danger? Supreme God said, He is the son of the prophecy. Even if there is danger, he will resolve it. Before, I did not understand, but now, I understand, ha ha ha. However, Supreme God thought about the Long Zhanting more than 10 years ago. At that time, nearly everything was arranged by him and his master. Only later on did he realize that they were wrong, which in turn led to the opposite. They would not make such a mistake again. What they wanted was results. As long as there were results, the process didn't matter. Supreme God said slightly, The God Emperor Academy tournament is near, you must make all preparations. The Western Devil Lord forces are too calm during this period of time. I'm worried that an accident will happen in the tournament. You must search carefully. You cannot let the Demon Area bandits destroy the tournament. 19 said heavily, Disciple obeys. Supreme God knew that Long Fei had gone to the Sea of Hell King. Song Qiancheng of the Dark Domain also knew. He was becoming more and more interested in the Dragon Domain secret treasures. Qian, I'll give you one more chance. This time, you only need to help Long Fei and everything he wants to do. I just need to know the location of the Dragon Domain as soon as possible and the method to open it, Song Qiancheng slightly said. Song Qianqian lowered his head and did not speak. Song Qiancheng smiled faintly. If this matter is successfully completed, I will let you bring your mother away from this place, and you will regain your eternal freedom. Song Qianqian's eyes flashed with a blazing light. Freedom. This was something she desperately wanted. Song Qiancheng said, But if you are not finished, hey. The smile was very sinister. Song Qiancheng continued to speak, Then you will never be able to meet your mother, and you will never be able to think of being free either. The rest of your life will all be in my hands, understand? Song Qianqian clenched his fists secretly, and said coldly, Understood. Song Qiancheng gently lifted the hair around Song Qianqian's ears, looked at that exquisite face, and smiled, Go. When Song Qiancheng lifted her hair, her body was trembling and she was extremely afraid. In her heart, Song Qiancheng was a demon. Song Qianqian left quickly. At this moment, an old man walked in and said, Domain Lord, do you really want to give her freedom? Then about the marriage agreement with Master of Magic Tribe. Song Qiancheng laughed coldly. If you didn't say it, how could you make her work even more for me? As for the marriage with the Master of Magic Tribe, this matter will depend on who can obtain the Dragon Domain's secret treasure. If I get it, then this Song Qianqian. A lewd smile appeared on his face. It was very sinister and very terrifying. We'll talk about the endless mountains. Long Fei and Ling Long's speed was not fast. Moreover, there were many rare spirit grass in the mountain, and they were constantly being harvested. Gathering spirit grass was her favorite thing to do, another tier 3 immortal herb. There are so many spirit grass in this endless mountains. The more dangerous the mountain, the fewer people there would be. Naturally, there would be more immortal herbs. Long Fei also picked a few stalks from time to time, but he hunted demon beastess most of the time to open up a path for Linglong. Roar! Suddenly, a roar came from the forest. Long Fei frowned, and immediately landed beside Linglong, and said, 7 rating monster and beast. Boom! Without waiting for him to finish speaking, a huge tiger with golden armor pounced forward and blocked in front of Long Fei. Armored fairy beast! Long Fei's gaze tensed up. The spirit chi on the fairy beast was very special. The spirit chi released by the fairy beast in front of him was extremely powerful. Roar! 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 The armored fairy beast released a low growl from its throat. It stared at Long Fei and drooled from its fangs. Long Fei said, "You want to eat this, daddy, right? Perfect. I'm hungry too, let's see who eats who." Long Fei took a look at his striking energy value. 90 points, his heart trembled. If only I had 100 points of striking value. Even if you do not have striking energy value, you will still be blown away. Be careful. As soon as he finished, Long Fei rushed out with the devil sword in hand. With ethereal footsteps, he landed in front of the fairy beast and shouted, "Come!" Roar! With a roar, the powerful strength stripes S on his body burst out and pounced towards Xiong Long Fei. The claw slashed down like a sharp blade. Long Fei moved, insight into sword method. The devil sword in his hand moved, his body rushing down, his sword thrusting towards the fairy beast's lower jaw. Bam! The sword struck, but Long Fei was also slashed by the sharp claws, leaving 3 wounds on his chest. Again, Long Fei rushed forward again. The war tiger was also extremely angry. It was a huge insult to it that a weak human like it could not be killed in a second. His footsteps quickened. Roar! Soon after, the war tiger's body became 2. Long Fei's eyes darkened, and he exclaimed in his heart, "Holy shit, body dividing technique? That's not right. It's an illusion technique." Long Fei's heart skipped a beat. Right now, he had to deal with 2 war tiger at the same time, and any one of them could be fake. Linglong cried out in alarm, "Senior brother, do you need my help?" Long Fei said, "Just take care of yourself." It was one thing for him to come and help at a time like this, but it was one thing for him not to cause any trouble. Even though Long Fei did not know what level Linglong's cultivation was, but it was definitely not very strong. Against the fairy beast, Long Fei alone felt it difficult. If it was 2 people, he would feel even more burdened. And then, Long Fei frowned, "You want to compete with me in body transformation illusion? Alright. Then Laozi will let you experience what a clone is like." Long Fei moved, releasing the powerful power of celestial, multiple shadows. 1,000 clones appear. Ha! In an instant, Long Fei's clones surrounded 1,000 people. They all rushed forward crazily. After tightly holding onto the 2 war tiger, the corner of Long Fei's mouth curved up as he laughed excitedly. "You're arrogant again. You must be amazing to be able to use a doppelganger illusion, right?" Rub. Long Fei scolded angrily, "Kill." Chapter 831, Stealing a Boss. Chapter 831, Stealing a Boss. More people. Long Fei had never been afraid. It just depends on how strong your illusion war tiger is. 1,000 clones rushed up and instantly trapped the war tiger. Long Fei didn't care. He seized the moment when it was in a daze and attacked continuously. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, asterisk overlay, slay. The third strike raised the defensive loopholes on the war tiger's body to the maximum as it dealt a critical hit. The war tiger cried out in pain. "I'll take your life while you're sick." Long Fei's heart exploded, 5th level unparalleled, open. The flames around his body became even more intense, and started chopping down towards a war tiger. He did not care about any sword technique or sword moves, as he stood on the threshold. "Fuck, I made you act so arrogantly. The fairy beast is amazing, right? Even fairy beastess have to die for me." The amount of blood on top of Wartiger's head was becoming smaller and smaller, and it was almost reaching the bottom. It was also at this time. One of the disciples in the dark said, "Boss, these are the 4 fairy beasts. If he kills them, their immortal foundation will disappear. Boss, a 4th rank fairy beast is worth tens of thousands of fairy stones. We cannot let it go. This is a top-quality fairy beast." Tu Jean naturally understood in his heart, and decisively shouted out, "First, suppress that little junior sister." The 2 disciples moved, and instantly landed in Ling Long's life. One of them moved his fingers, and grabbed Ling Long by the throat, and coldly shouted, "Make him stop." Ling Long did not even think about the people around her. Her thoughts were all on Long Fei, and the sudden appearance of someone shocked her, so she shouted, "Senior brother." It was also at this time. Tu Jean walked out with a complacent sneer. He looked at Long Fei and said, "Brat, I didn't think that you had so many tricks up your sleeve. You even crippled fairy beast. Good, now it's none of your business." Scram to the side. 5 people suddenly appeared out of nowhere. Long Fei's gaze tightened, but he did not sense anything either. Yang Huang ancestor said, "I was cultivating just now, I didn't expect someone to follow you." Yang Huang ancestor was not always able to notice the auras around Long Fei, so he had to cultivate as well. Long Fei looked at their clothes. "Someone from the God Emperor Academy?" Ling Long immediately asked, "Senior brother, did you guys get it wrong? We are also from the God Emperor Academy." She was too naive. Tu Jean sneered coldly, and said, "We naturally know that you are someone from the God Emperor Academy. Otherwise, how would I have followed you 2 here?" And then, Long Fei immediately understood, "Seems like you are someone from the Green Dragon Matrial Hall. Smart. Arrogant Dragon Squad's 4 pieces of trash should have told you my name." Tu Jean still had a pleased smile on his face as he said, "Long Fei, some people cannot be touched. Since you dare to touch teacher Ouyang's woman, then prepare to die. Now hand over that fairy beast and I will let you die without pain," Tu Jean said with contempt. He didn't think that there would be another gift for killing Long Fei. Grade 4 immortal roots should be able to sell for a lot of fairy stones. They just so happened to be lacking fairy stones for cultivation to be able to compete in the academy competition after 2 months. Long Fei's gaze also became cold, as he said solemnly, "Ouyang Jian, how dare you?" Tu Jean immediately shouted out, "Teacher's name, how can you, a trash from Nantian region, call it? Now I order you to get out of my way." And then, Long Fei glanced at Ling Long. Long Fei's gaze shifted as he said faintly, "It's not too late for a gentleman to take revenge, as this father will never take revenge overnight. You delivered it yourselves. Then go to hell." To Tu Jean, killing Long Fei meant giving away his fairy beast, but to Long Fei, it meant killing his own enemy. The anger in his heart never faded. If they did not stop them, Long Fei would have definitely charged towards the Green Dragon Matrial Hall, but he did not expect that these people would actually come to this place to kill him. "That's perfect. It was exactly what he wanted." Long Fei shouted, and said, "You want the fairy beast, right? Come and get it if you dare." Tu Jean frowned, "Are you looking to die? Charge." One of the disciples' claws moved, and 2 dragon roars sounded out in the air. The 2 claws were like dragon claws. Grabbing onto Xiong Longfei's throat, he said in a heavy tone, "Get down." At this moment, inside Long Fei's body, "Oh, big brother Azure Dragon, someone is using the Azure Dragon Claw. So powerful, ha ha ha, ha ha ha." All the dragons burst into laughter. Green Dragon Ancestor had a bitter face. "Green Dragon Claw? This is more like chicken feet." Following that, Green Dragon Ancestor roared in anger, "Boss, let him experience the real Green Dragon Claw." Long Fei stared blankly before replying, "Understood." Suddenly, the power of the Green Dragon Ancestor burst out from Long Fei's body. It could be said that even the old fire of the Green Dragon Ancestor was up, and he could still use the Azure Dragon Claw in front of door to door. But you have to make it look better. Long Fei's claws moved. Roar, roar. 2 true Azure Dragon roars rang out, and the draconic roars shook the entire area. The face of the Green Dragon Matrial Hall disciple sank. He was so shocked by the dragon roar in the sky that his mind trembled. Long Fei's claws struck out. "I'll let you experience the real Green Dragon Claw." Bam! Attacking with just one move, Long Fei gave up on killing the fairy beast because he still needed 10 points of energy values, so he looked at the green dragon Matrial Hall disciple and shouted, "Explode for me." Boom. The paw print on Long Fei's 5 fingers suddenly turned into a real dragon claw image, grabbing the man's head. One stomp. Crack. His entire head was split open and blown apart. Half of his body swayed as he stood there unsteadily. With a plop, he fell to the ground, blood spewing out from his mouth. One-hit kill, and at the same time, he was using the Azure Dragon Claw, the real Azure Dragon Claw. The green dragon ancestor disdainfully said, "Pa, you call it the Azure Dragon Claw just like that, you really make me lose face." And then, green dragon ancestor's aura retracted, and disappeared from Long Fei's body. Long Fei also said in disdain, "Is this how trash the green dragon Matrial Hall is? Cannot withstand a single blow. Disdain. Quite contemptuous." This person had instantly killed Dao Feng in the morning, and his green dragon claws fiercely crushed Dao Feng, but right now Long Fei was using the same move to kill him. This made the anger in the hearts of Tu Zhon and the other 3 burst out. It was not because Long Fei had killed their brother, but because Long Fei had humiliated the green dragon Matrial Hall. Tu Zhon shouted, "Long Fei." Long Fei immediately laughed. "Why are you calling out to your father?" Tu Zhon was enraged. "I will kill you." Long Fei laughed coldly, and said, "You go to the side first, I still have some things to do first." It was also at this time the system sounded out. Long Fei did not care what he shouted, but rather, he looked at his striking energy value, which just happened to reach 100 points. With a move of his feet, he used all his strength and heavily punched the fairy beast. "Explode for me." Chapter 832 Rosefinch Blood Vessel. Chapter 832 Rosefinch Blood Vessel. 100 energy values were gathered. Without waiting for even a second, Long Fei's fists were like thunder, directly smashing the fairy beastess to the ground. Tu Zhon's eyes darkened. "Are you crazy? A 4th stage fairy beast. If he were to kill it, there would be nothing left, and his immortal foundation would disappear too. Would his immortal foundation, which was worth tens of thousands of fairy stones, disappear just like that? Was this person retarded? Even Ling Long could not understand, why did Long Fei want to kill this fairy beast? That was an immortal foundation. Boom. The blood on top of the fairy beast's head fell. Long Fei killed it very accurately, and the other was that the war tiger was an illusion clone. At that moment, his clone also quickly disappeared. The system sounded out, and Long Fei immediately said, "Release Berserk ability point." Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 100,000 experience for killing 4th rank fairy beast, 1,000 power of celestial and 1 energy values. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining battle armor immortal root. Do you wish to fuse it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining illusion immortal root. Do you wish to fuse it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining War Tiger S. Do you wish to fuse them? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Illusion World. Do you wish to cultivate it? The system sounded out continuously. Long Fei was completely dumbfounded. Twin immortal roots. A fairy beast could only produce 1 type of immortal root, but Long Fei could obtain 2 immortal roots in an instant, not because the war tiger was a twin immortal root fairy beast, but because of his berserk power. 100 energy values points were not fake. After releasing berserk, his chance of exploding would increase 10-fold, 100-fold, or even 10,000 times faster when his luck exploded. This was the charm of berserk. It was a complete mess. Ding. The war tiger was swallowed by the dragon Salia. Before the dragon Salia devoured him, Yang Huang ancestor refined a little bit of the war tiger. He had mastered more than 10 different types of blood vein, and he knew how to refine all kinds of people that Long Fei killed, demon beast, fairy beast, boss, and he would refine even a little bit of the blood vein's power. He wanted to create a unique blood vein for Long Fei. The strongest blood vein. Fantasy world. What kind of cultivation technique is this? Long Fei looked through the system to see the stats of the fantasy world. Ding. System notification, unable to check, Player needs to fuse with an illusion technique to be able to cultivate this skill. It's still linked together? Long Fei muttered in his heart. The idea moved, fusion of an illusion technique with the immortal foundation. He was now a 9th-level madman. If he wanted to step into the virtual immortal stage, he would have to fuse with a 4th-grade immortal foundation, which could be considered a top-grade immortal foundation. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 100 experience points for fusing with Illusion Celestial Root, Power of Celestial 100 points, and 100 points as a special reward. Cultivate. Long Fei moved and pressed on the fantasy cultivation technique. At the same time, he opened the system to check. Cultivation technique, Fantasy World Grade, Divine Grade Consumption, 10,000 Power of Celestial S description. This is an illusion. Once it is used, the opponent will be affected by the illusion and the user will be able to control the illusion. Damn! An illusion technique. Long Fei had thought that it was a spatial technique, but this illusion technique could also be considered a spatial technique. As long as his opponent fell for his illusions, Long Fei could take control of his life. Long Fei only used a few seconds to check the items. The fairy beast was killed by him, causing Tu Zhon to be unable to contain his anger. He stared at Long Fei with eyes filled with rage, but he could not understand why. He didn't even want a Tier 4 Immortal Foundation. Of course. If he could figure it out, then what the hell was Long Fei doing? Since the fairy beast was already dead, he did not have to worry about anything anymore. His gaze turned cold as he stared at the two brothers on the other side and shouted, "Kill this woman for me. Kid, if you kill the fairy beast, I'll kill your woman. Not only her, Chen Tianfei, Man Tuoluo, Xiao Ying, Dao Feng, Han Xueji, Zheng Qingsong, Wang Qingshan, and the others all have to die." Before coming here, he had already investigated everything about Long Fei. If you cut the grass, you have to get rid of the roots. As long as they found the opportunity, these people would all die. Long Fei's eyes became cold. "You are from the Pan family," Tu Zhon coldly snorted, and said, "I am from the Green Dragon Matrial Hall. Kill them all." With a roar, the disciple holding onto Ling Long's throat glared at her with killing intent. Exerting force through his fingers, Ling Long's throat said hoarsely, "Senior brother, quickly leave." "Leave? Humph. Let's go to the infernal realm," Tu Zhon sneered. He did not place Long Fei in his eyes at all. Long Fei also did not think of leaving. In this lifetime, he would absolutely not flee again. Looking at Ling Long's pale face, Long Fei shouted in his heart, "Let me see just what kind of power this illusory realm is." The idea moved and thought, flower of myriad manifestation. Buzz. Imperceptibly, the power of her idea rushed out, easily entering the mind of the disciple who was grabbing onto Ling Long's throat. Ding. Release successful. One move was a success. Long Fei was also surprised. He suddenly thought of the disciple. This should be the illusion he controlled. Long Fei ordered, "Relax." The man instantly let go of Long Fei's hand and with a move of the idea, he ordered him to walk to Tu Zhon's side. Tu Zhon was surprised for a moment, and said, "All three, what are you doing? I told you to kill her." Pa. As the slap landed, Tu Zhon's eyes darkened and his reaction speed increased, as he kicked out. Bam! The other party had sent him flying with a kick. "Third bro, are you courting death?" Tu Zhon's eyes turned sinister. He looked at the other disciple and said, "Kill her for me." That person reacted and took a step forward. At the beginning, Ling Long had been careless, and her survival experience outside was not enough. She did not know that the human heart was dangerous, but this was also because she was too naive. However, this time she reacted. The moment that person struck down with his palm, Long Fei's gaze darkened, and said in a loud voice, "Little junior sister." Not waiting for him to finish. Boom. A pair of wings suddenly appeared on Ling Long's back. It was colorful and dazzling. A powerful force burst out from the wings and sent the Green Dragon Matrial Hall disciple flying. As for her, she instantly flew into the air, her figure invisibly appearing like a divine bird. Everyone was shocked. He didn't know how to react. The Green Dragon Matrial Hall disciple who was sent flying immediately cracked his chest. His internal organs had already shattered, and he was instantly killed. This power was too terrifying. Just a single shake was enough to kill a genius. Long Fei had to admit that he was stunned. What's the situation? Long Fei muttered, isn't she a weak little junior sister? How did you become so strong? Yang Huang ancestor said in shock, Rosefinch blood vessel. Chapter 833 One-Hit Kill. Chapter 833 One-Hit Kill. The Yang Huang ancestor's voice fell. Long Fei suddenly realized that the divine bird in the sky was exactly the same as the vermilion bird in the legends. A seemingly weak little girl who was being pushed around everywhere in the elixir martial arts branch was actually the descendant of a rosefinch blood vessel. Wasn't this too freaking terrifying? Tu Zhon was shocked. He also realized that the blood vein on Linglong's body had an extraordinary strength. However, his target this time was Long Fei. Boom! Tu Zhon's strength exploded out, and like a bolt of lightning, he rushed towards Xiong Longfei, wanting to kill him in one blow. Long Fei, go and die. In the air, Ling Long shouted out, and the power of the divine bird vermilion bird came crashing down, striking towards Tu Zhon. Long Fei frowned. Good job. If you dare to touch my brother, today, I will tear you apart. Zhong Xian frowned. The power of Celestial suddenly dropped in value. Long Fei did not want to give Tu Zhon any chance, and he did not need to worry about any strong techniques in the Endless Mountains. He shouted out in his heart, Big Day Tashigata. Buddha Palm Technique. Rumble. A loud sound rang out in the air as a gigantic palm print came crashing down from the sky. The golden palm print was as big as the sky as it struck towards Tu Zhon. Boom. 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 After a series of explosions, the air could not withstand it and cracks continued to emit out of the void. The powerful aura directly crushed Tu Zhon to the ground, causing him to kneel down. Looking at the gigantic golden palm print crashing down on him, he roared out in frustration, What palm technique is this? Impossible, impossible. It's impossible for you to cultivate this kind of palm technique. Big Day Tashigata. There was no palm technique in this world. No one knew what palm technique it was made from. Long Fei looked at him with contempt and said, What palm technique is this? Pig slaughtering palm. Those who touch my brother, die. Those who slander my Nantian region, die. Anyone who hurts my woman, die. Today, even if you have 10 lives, it won't be enough. Long Fei moved and roared, Die. The Buddha palm technique crashed onto the ground. Together with the other person, as well as the 3 people who had been struck by Long Fei's illusionary world, they were crushed under the palm of the Buddha palm technique, and a gigantic palm print appeared on the ground. The entire Endless Mountains began to tremble. Terrifying to the extreme. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Tu Zhon for obtaining 3000 experience, 200 power of celestial and 10 energy values. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Beastmaster Immortal Root. Ding. Congratulations to the player Long Fei for killing. The system continuously exploded. The 3 dropped quite a few things. Long Fei said to the ancestor, Ancestor, leave the 4th grade Immortal Foundation for me, the other things will be yours. At this time, Long Fei needed the Immortal Foundation. Dao Feng, Han Xueji, Wang Qingshan, Fat Men Chen, Xiao Ying and the others needed to fuse with a 4th grade Immortal Foundation. Since they were going to start a war with the Green Dragon Matrial Hall, they had to make preparations. Long Fei had once said that he would definitely allow Dao Feng and the others to soar into the sky. He wanted to create a power that belonged solely to him, Long Fei. He had killed 3 people with a single palm strike. The strong force quickly devoured Long Fei's body, causing Long Fei's body to sink down. He was barely able to stand steadily, as he was forced to retreat several steps back. Linglong quickly flew down and supported Long Fei. Senior brother, are you alright? Long Fei's face was very pale, and his body was extremely exhausted. This was because the power of the Big Day Tashigata was too strong, causing his body to be unable to endure, which was why such a situation would occur. However, it was much better than the first time he directly fainted. During this period of time, whether it was in the Dragon Head Mountain or the Shili Desert, Long Fei's physical body was constantly improving, breaking through his limits time and time again, allowing his physical body's endurance to become extremely strong. Otherwise, he would have fainted again. Huff. Long Fei exhaled a heavy breath and muttered to himself, "This time, I finally managed to resist, and I didn't faint." And then, Long Fei smiled lightly at Ling Long, and said, "I'm fine, little junior sister never thought that you would have such a powerful rosefinch blood vessel." Ling Long giggled and said, "I'm sorry about that, senior brother. I don't like the martial arts training, I prefer alchemy." She rarely cultivated, so no one would discover her blood vein, otherwise they would definitely shock the entire God Emperor Academy. The rosefinch blood vessel was an ancient blood vein after all. Maybe he would even be selected by the palace. Question of Goddess. Long Fei said, "Do as you wish, do not overly suppress yourself. You are the inheritor of the ancient divine beast, there must be a reason why it chose you." Ling Long said, "Junior sister will remember, in the future junior sister will not suppress his heart, it will become stronger, hehe. However, compared to my rosefinch blood vessel, senior brother's palm just now was very strong, filled with dense Buddhist light. Is this holy Buddhahood's cultivation technique? Could it be that the senior brother is someone from the holy Buddhahood?" The holy Buddhahood only existed in teleportation, the Buddhist light shone everywhere, and the holy power was boundless. Long Fei smiled faintly and said, "No, you still know holy Buddhahood." Ling Long said, "I also read about it in an ancient book in Secret History Pavilion. It seems like that book was also fabricated, from PH, to think I still believed it. Very naughty, very cute." Long Fei sat on the ground and panted heavily, then said, "My body is currently extremely weak, and I need to rest for a few hours to recover." Ling Long immediately said, "Senior brother, I will act as your protector, and will absolutely not let anyone hurt you." Long Fei smiled faintly and swallowed a pill. He closed his eyes slightly, allowing his body to relax and recover quickly. It's up ahead. That giant golden palm imprint was in the valley ahead. God Emperor Academy's son of a bitch dares to come here and act so atrociously, Lousy will make sure they never return. In the forest, the disciples of Magic Tribe quickly chased after them. The 8 disciples of Magic Tribe S being killed along with the huge palm just now had caused all the disciples in the Magic Tribe stronghold to wake up from their stupor. At the same time, they surrounded Long Fei and the others. Half an hour later, hundreds of disciples of Magic Tribe were coming closer and closer. Ling Long frowned, she had already sensed many powerful auras, looking at Long Fei who was meditating behind her, her 2 little fists clenched tightly. "I will definitely not let anyone hurt senior brother." While they were talking, her exquisite body moved, and her 2 gorgeous wings were revealed. Half a minute later, dozens of Magic Tribes arrived first. Looking at the wings on Ling Long's back, their expressions changed. Divine bird blood vein? Catch her, strip her off her blood vein. There's another wounded man over there. Kill that man, bring the woman away. The master of Magic Tribe needs this kind of strong ancient blood vein, hey. Ling Long was not afraid, her eyebrows moved, and said, "I will definitely not let you hurt senior brother." She rushed out. Chapter 834, Giving Out Experience in 1 Waves. Chapter 834, Giving Out Experience in 1 Waves. Bang, bang, bang. Ling Long made continuous moves, blocking more than 10 Magic Tribes. Even though she had a strong blood vein, she was only one person after all. Furthermore, her cultivation was only arrogant immortal state and she wasn't adept in battle, so how could she be a match for him? Boom. Ling Long was sent flying with a slap, blood trickling from the corner of her mouth. Without waiting for more than 10 people to come close, her wings moved once again and she rushed forward. "I will definitely not let you hurt the senior brother." He was incomparably resolute. A Magic Tribe sneered, "Oh, he's your little lover, right? What can a weak body like his give you? Let's see our powerful physiques. They will definitely be able to make you feel good. Ha ha ha. Little beauty, it's better for you to obediently surrender. We'll take pity on you. Ha ha ha." Many people laughed. It was also at this time. The 100 surrounding disciples of Magic Tribes tightly surrounded the 2 of them. They watched her eyes light up. If Ling Long were to fall into their hands, I'm afraid. Infuriated, Ling Long rushed forward again. The magic tribes quickly retreated. On the other side, another group of disciples of magic tribes rushed towards Xiong Longfei. Little beauty, we're going to kill your little lover. Linglong turned around and flew over to stop the other group. Immediately after, the disciples of magic tribe on the other side rushed at Xiong Longfei. Linglong flew over again. She was like a ball being played by these disciples of magic tribe. These disciples of magic tribes all laughed at her and laughed at her loudly. There were more and more disciples of magic tribe in the valley, and the disciples of the 4 strongholds had basically all gathered here. Half an hour later, Linglong gasped. The power of celestial in her body was almost exhausted. Long Fei still sat cross-legged and closed his eyes. Little beauty, you're almost unable to endure it, right? Are you going to follow us? We will make you happy, ha ha ha. At this moment, the encirclement continued to shrink, and Linglong was also retreating, but she had been protecting Long Fei behind her all along. Looking at the surrounding disciples of magic tribe who was walking over, she said, I won't let you hurt senior brother, you all had better leave quickly, and once senior brother recovers, none of you will be able to leave. See the deep pit here, it is the powerful palm technique released by senior brother. Ha ha ha. Little beauty, you want to scare us to death. If your senior brother is powerful, let him make a move. Hurry up, I'm so scared. Do you know where this is? This is the territory of our demon area. You trashy God Emperor Academy S will all die if you behave atrociously in our territory, but you are an exception. The encirclement was only 5 meters away. Linglong was still standing in front of Long Fei to protect him. Her forehead was tightly locked, and she did not urge him any further, nor did she choose to leave. With her power as a rosefinch blood vessel, escaping was an extremely easy task. But she didn't. It was because Long Fei was the first senior brother to bring her out. He was also the first person to protect her. She also had to protect Long Fei, because in her heart, Long Fei was a good person. Little beauty, I'll give you one last chance. Obediently get out of the way. Let us kill him. This man killed 8 of our brothers. I will hack him into pieces. If you say so, we won't kill you. We will cherish you well. A magic tribe said. Linglong said firmly, if you want to touch my senior brother, you have to kill me. That magic tribe powerhouse also lost his patience. Little bitch, don't King refuse to drink whatever you want. If it wasn't for the blood vein in your body that is useful to master of magic tribe, if it wasn't for your looks, do you think you would still be alive? Stop talking nonsense with her. Attack. A magic tribe immediately shouted, and 2 disciples rushed out from behind him and landed in mid-air. The 2 of them extended their hands and a black gigantic net covered Linglong's head. Linglong had already overdrawn her power of celestial. Even if she saw the huge net descending from the sky, there was nothing she could do. However, she still stood firmly behind Long Fei, incomparably resolute. Silly girl. The moment the giant net landed, a voice came out from behind Linglong. It was also at this time. Long Fei's figure moved, and he held a long spear in his hands. The long spear moved, and he pointed it at the sky, and the spear's body ignited, burning the sky. It directly burnt that huge net. Long Fei stood in front of Linglong and lightly scratched her nose, saying, Silly girl. Linglong looked excited, and asked, Senior brother, are you all right? Long Fei grinned, against such a large wave of experience, even if it's not good, I would at least get better. Huh. Experience. Linglong did not move. At this moment, Long Fei moved and said to Patriarch Huang Quan, there are too many people, I can't kill them all by myself. It's time to let Hell Core take action. Yang Huang Ancestor said, understood. The Yellow Springs summoning seal moved, 1,000 of the Yin soldiers walked out from the death-calling God seal, all of them looked at Long Fei and said, we greet boss. Long Fei smirked and chuckled, kill them all. Yes sir. With that, 1,000 of the ghost soldiers rushed out. At the same time, the pike in Long Fei's hand moved, pointed at the magic tribe and laughed, thank you very much, you know I need to level up to give me this much experience. Oh yeah, you were the one who wanted to kill me just now, right? Come. Long Fei's body released a wild aura. Bam! Bam! One after another, disciples of Magic Tribe after another suddenly fell, as if they had seen a ghost. At the same time, Long Fei and his system beep also crazily sounded out, one after another. There's a ghost. There's a ghost. Ah! A sudden, miserable scream rang out. The disciples of Magic Tribe was in a mess, looking at the dead bodies around him. It was as if they had seen a ghost. And then, the leading few Magic Tribes immediately shouted, "Retreat, retreat, everyone quickly retreat." Long Fei's mouth hooked up as he laughed coldly. You want to leave after acting tough? Does Lousy agree? Moreover, the bodies of the S that were leading the group were glowing with a golden light. They could not be considered bosses, but they were also elite monsters that they could not let go of. Long Fei held Ling Long's small hand with one hand and said gently, "Follow me closely." Ling Long's cheeks blushed as she nodded, "Yes. Kill." Long Fei's spear moved, the aura of the sky-burning dragon gun erupted. With one spear shot, it pierced a person's head. Chase after him. They were frantically chasing and killing. Half an hour later, Long Fei killed an elite Magic Tribe with a single spear strike, then looked at his striking attribute, release 100 points of energy values, explode for me. The system beeped. Ding. Chapter 835, Treasure Map. He was about to make a fortune. Chapter 835, Treasure Map. He was about to make a fortune. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Magic Tribe for obtaining 15,000 experience, 1,000 power of celestial and 10 energy values. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Immortal Crystal. 1. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Sea in Hell's treasure map. And then, ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, first rank of the Virtual Immortals. He had leveled up. After fusing with the illusory celestial root and stepping into the Virtual Immortal stage, the power in Long Fei's body crazily changed as the power of the Virtual Immortal stage poured in. Clenching his fists tightly, a powerful aura gushed forth from him. Not just his own strength. The power of the Yuan Long head in his sea of consciousness also increased a little. Under the stimulation of the power of the dragon head, a strange power started to surge out from his body. He had never felt such power before. After Long Fei broke through the Virtual Immortal stage, his heart trembled because he felt a different kind of energy within Long Fei's body, and he became excited. It's about to awaken. It's about to awaken. Black Dragon Ancestor also became excited. It's really about to awaken. Ghost Dragon asked, "What's about to awaken?" The Golden Dragon Master also did not understand. What exactly are you two talking about? Aside from the Azure Dragon and Black Dragon, no one else understood. They weren't able to sense that there was a bizarre power awakening within Long Fei's body, even though it was still just a tiny bit of the starfire right now. However, as long as he opened the path of awakening, there would be a day when the wild flame fang would burn everything in the world. Green Dragon Ancestor replied excitedly, "The dragon's power in Boss's body." "Huh." Poisonous Ancestor muttered, "Boss doesn't have any dragon blood activation. Shouldn't I open the dragon domain's gate in order to activate the energy in its body?" Green Dragon Ancestor laughed. "Wrong. In his body, it's not that his dragon blood activation is 0, it's just that his dragon blood activation is 100 times higher than normal. It's just that no one, no apparatus or anything, can sense it. The boss merged with the power of the dragon head and has already activated the power in his body. Following that is the dragon body, the dragon tail, and finally the claws of the attack. Once the boss is done integrating all of this, with a breakthrough in his cultivation, he will be able to activate all of his power and become the king of the dragon domain." The more the Azure Dragon spoke, the more excited he got, as if that day was about to arrive. Black Dragon Ancestor let out a light sigh, and said softly, "But the amount of time left for eldest brother is too little. 5 years is too short. Even if the eldest is able to activate the dragon race's strongest power, he would only be able to recover to the peak of 6 million years ago. At that time, he wouldn't be able to withstand the tribulation. But now, the Black Dragon did not continue. Indeed, 6 million years ago, it couldn't withstand it, but now, can it? Black Dragon Ancestor's words were like a bucket of cold water being poured over them. All the other dragons fell silent. Tribulation. Long Fei was still just a virtual immortal stage, not to mention resisting the tribulation. It was hard enough to reach the peak of the Yuan Long 6 million years ago. How could he be an opponent? How could he resist that sort of powerful tribulation? He couldn't block it. Long Fei could not hear what they were saying. He looked at the ancient treasure map from the space ring and asked excitedly, "The Transu's treasure map? Are there many, many treasures?" Linglong was stunned for a moment, and said, "Senior brother, you mean the Transu's lost continent?" "Heh! Lost continent?" Long Fei was startled and asked, "You know about this?" Linglong said, "Secret History Pavilion has many ancient books. I have read them, and the lost continent of Transu has some records too, but these are all events that happened millions of years ago. The records are very vague. It was only the strongest empire in the west of the Transu that held faith in the gods. It was also because of the great calamity that sank the continent that the Transu was in, causing it to be buried in the ocean forever. None of the members of the Transu escaped, and this calamity was known as the gods' punishment." "I don't know what it means." Long Fei looked at Linglong and said, "A secret history from millions of years ago, that was the book on the 6th floor of the Secret History Pavilion." "Linglong, can you read the book on the 6th floor with your power?" The 6th floor of Secret History Pavilion required a huge amount of energy to flip through the books. Long Fei at least had not reached that level yet. The last time was also Song Qianqian. He had barely been able to flip through the clan rankings, but Long Fei did not expect Linglong to be able to flip through the books on the 6th floor. Linglong giggled and said, "I used the power of the rosefinch blood vessel." "All right." Long Fei immediately sagged for a while, and muttered in his heart, "The strength of the blood vein again, sigh. When will I be able to fuse a super strong blood vein?" Too self-conscious. The further a blood vein's power was, the more it could be displayed, and a person's innate talent was mostly determined by the blood vein in their body. Yang Huang Ancestor said, "It's going to be soon, it's going to be soon, it won't be long." "Brat, you can't eat hot tofu in such a hurry, why are you in such a hurry with me around?" Long Fei muttered, and said, "It's precisely because you're here that I'm anxious." Yang Huang Ancestor. Long Fei continued to ask about the treasure map. "Little junior sister, do you want to go with me to search for treasures?" The treasure map. The lost continent of Transu. The punishments of an Empyrean god. Just these things alone made Long Fei a little unable to hold back. Furthermore, the most crucial point was that the Transu was in the sea in hell, and it might be related to the dragon body tomb. And then again, Long Fei really needed money. The Yin soldiers had not leveled up for some time. If they did not rebel, Long Fei would become even more furious. The Yin soldiers' combat power was too strong, and it could easily become a pair of scissors, a fatal knife, if possible. Long Fei really wanted to train them into flying Immortal Peak Realm, and sweep through all of Heaven Realm. Linglong asked excitedly, "Can I?" "Wow. The Transu's lost continent, maybe it has many unknown spirit grass, maybe it has some mysterious pill formulas." Linglong only had pills in her eyes. Her hobby was alchemy. She who had the Rosefinch blood vessel chose Elixir Martial Arts branch, not Rosefinch Martial Art College. Hearing her words, Long Fei became even more excited, and said, "Maybe there really is. The super pill formulas from millions of years ago, when that time comes, we can change the entire pattern of pills in the entire continent." Treasure map. Without treasures, how could it be called a treasure map? I never thought that Berserk would actually drop such a good item. Long Fei was excited and he muttered, "There are no treasures in the ancient giant coffin. This Transu's treasure map definitely has some hidden treasures. Ancestor, just wait for the heavens. My Hell Core, all of you, prepare to ascend to the heavens." Ha ha ha. At this moment, as if hearing Long Fei's words, Hell Core started to slaughter even more frantically. The system beep in Long Fei's body continuously rang out. Chapter 836, Meeting Song Qianqian Again. Chapter 836, Meeting Song Qianqian Again. If all the Hell Cores were golden immortals, Yuanxian S, or even stronger. If the Hell Core is not restricted by the time limit. If only they could freely travel to every corner of God's martial continent. Then. It really happened. There was no need for Long Fei to do anything. His experience skyrocketed and she could even send them to the Nantian region. All of this is not impossible. As long as he had money, as long as he had fairy stones and immortal crystals, Yang Huang ancestor would be able to help Long Fei with all of this. This way, the patriarch could train the Yin soldiers crazily. Long Fei trained by killing monsters and gaining experience to level up. Normal warriors' resources for cultivation were completely useless to him, but she needed them. Yang Huang ancestor needs it. If they were strong, Long Fei was strong. Therefore, Long Fei had to think of all sorts of ways to get a large amount of fairy stones and immortal crystals so that Yang Huang ancestor and the others could become stronger. 3 hours later. Nearly 1,000 disciples of Magic Tribes had died, and a total of 600 were scared shitless by the 1,000 ghost soldiers chasing them. If it weren't for the time limit, they would have been killed by the ghost soldiers. The ghost soldiers returned to the death-calling God Seal. It would take them a few days to recover. If they had immortal crystals, they could quickly replenish their energy in a few hours. Long Fei's heart tensed up, and thought to herself, money, I want money. Yang Huang ancestor said, you really need to get more fairy stones, these hell core really need to raise their levels, right now their cultivation cannot keep up. Long Fei nodded, and said secretly, I understand. Their hunting speed had clearly slowed down by a lot. When they met the demon beast, the warrior's cultivation was also getting higher and higher. If they did not improve, they would just be a bunch of useless trash. He had to level up. Long Fei and Ling Long simply rested for the entire night. The next day, he swiftly headed towards the Sea of the Nether King. Along the way, Long Fei kept on killing and killed any demon beast he saw. As long as she was experienced, she would not even let a single mosquito go. His experience was slowly increasing. Compared to the 1,000 hell core, he was way too slow. Compared to an ordinary martial artist, he was flying. 4 days later. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, 2nd rank of Virtual Immortals. Upgrade again. After using it for 4 whole days, Long Fei muttered in her heart, too slow, it's really too slow. Breaking through the 2nd stage of the Virtual Immortals in 4 days, normal warriors might not even be able to do it in 4 years. Even some of the super geniuses would need a lot of time, so breaking through in 4 days was simply a fantasy story. But Long Fei felt that it was too slow. Standing on the mountaintop and looking off into the distance, he could hear the sound of waves crashing against the shore. We're finally here. Long Fei was secretly excited, and said, right in front of us is the Sea of the Underworld Kings, right? Ling Long spoke up, senior brother, this is not the Sea of Hell King. No one knows where the Sea of Hell King is in this sea area. The Sea of Hell is not a big sea. It was like an island somewhere in the ocean. Long Fei was startled. However, he then looked at the Adragon body tomb map, and combined it with the Transu's treasure map. He found a common place, an island. Long Fei thought in her heart, once I find this island, I should be able to find the Sea of Hell King. It was also thanks to the treasure map of the Transu that Long Fei had found. Otherwise, it would have taken Long Fei a while to find the sea in hell. Long Fei looked at Ling Long and said, you sure know a lot. It's just like a small encyclopedia. Encyclopedia? Senior brother, what kind of book is that? Other than alchemy, Ling Long was also interested in reading, especially some ancient books. Because she wanted to know what kind of blood vein she had in her body. Long Fei smiled faintly and said, there's a small city at the foot of the mountain ahead. Let's rest inside for a day and go out to sea tomorrow. Ling Long immediately said, yes, endless city. In a restaurant. Little beauty, don't wear a veil. Let me see what you look like. A warrior holding a harpoon looked up and down at the woman eating in front of the window with a lustful look in his eyes. The woman's eyes looked at the city gate. She didn't even raise her eyes as she coldly said, scram. Yo. Little girl, you're quite unreasonable. Do you know who I am? Do you know whose territory this endless city belongs to? The big man holding the harpoon said in disdain. The woman did not speak. He completely disregarded him. He extended his head, lifted his hair, and revealed a smile that he considered handsome. In fact, it was extremely vulgar as he said, "Beauty, eating alone is too boring. Let me accompany you for a drink." Finished. His eyes flickered. One of the lackeys behind him immediately came up with a pot of wine and said, "Little beauty, try my wine." The woman continued to ignore him. However, for a moment, her eyes flashed, because she saw someone who made him laugh, watching him walk into the city. The corners of the woman's mouth curled up slightly as she smiled. Although her face was covered by a veil, the harpoon guy could clearly see her smile and was elated. Gudong. The man swallowed a mouthful of saliva as his Adam's apple rolled down his throat. He immediately filled the cup with wine and said, "Come, come, let's drink a cup." The lady's eyes did not move, she only stared at Long Fei. Following the woman's gaze, he also saw Long Fei. At the same time, he also saw Ling Long who was beside Long Fei. A lustful look flashed across her eyes, and she said excitedly, "I really got lucky today, I didn't expect to meet two great beauties in one day." And then, the vulgar man shouted, "Bring me those two people. If anyone dares to disobey, break that man's legs. Don't touch that woman, whoever dares to touch him, I'll cripple him." Women were meant to be spoiled. Long Fei was still hungry, so she walked to the entrance of the Endless City. Looking at the word endless on the city gate reminded him of the first time she had received a reward from the god's Phoenix Pavilion system. He thought to himself, one more infinity sword would be great. When they entered the city, they were suddenly blocked. "Our boss invites you. You better behave, otherwise, I will make you lie on the ground and become a dead dog." Two big-sized men blocked Long Fei's way. A roadblock, very arrogant. "I think all of you really want to become dead dogs." Long Fei was about to say something, but when he raised her eyes, she saw a woman at the restaurant's window. An extremely beautiful woman who was staring at him without blinking. Long Fei was startled. Song Chantian? Chapter 837 F*** Kami, a rich woman. Chapter 837 F*** Kami, a rich woman. After leaving Chenji City, Song Chantian went straight to the Endless City beneath the Endless Mountains. If Long Fei were to go to the sea in hell, he would definitely pass by this place. Now it's here. She laughed too. Long Fei was also stunned for a moment when he saw the window. The last time he saw Dragonhead Mountain, he had really missed her a little, especially because of the three things she had given him. She had begged Cho Wandao and Elderly in Green's lives for them. If not for these three things, Cho Wandao would have died of old age by now. "Kid, what are you looking at? Hurry and come over," one of the minions said fiercely. Long Fei smiled and walked towards the tavern. Ling Long said slightly, "Senior brother, these people are so fierce." Long Fei said, "Don't be afraid, they will no longer be fierce." When Long Fei and Ling Long walked into the tavern, the man with the harpoon stared at Ling Long without moving. Just like Song Chantian, Long Fei stared at the opponent without moving. Long Fei walked to the front of the table, sat down, and asked, "Are you all right?" Song Chantian said indifferently, "Not bad." Long Fei said, "Thank you for the previous matter." Song Chantian said, "There's no need to be so polite, I will definitely accomplish what I promised you." The two of them were like old friends who had known each other for a long time. Their words were plain, but they carried a sense of concern. Some of the words did not need to be too clear. Their conversation made the vulgar man beside her anxious. The harpoon in his hand pointed towards Long Fei's face, and said, "Brat, you dare to pick up my girl, I think you're tired of living, right?" Long Fei looked at Song Chantian and asked, "Your friend?" Song Chantian shook his head and said, "I don't." "Oh." Long Fei made an "oh" sound, then slightly moved his body. Following that, a dull bang sound was heard, and the perverted man was smashed onto the street. "Ayo. This is so painful. What are you all waiting for? Hurry up and kill him." The vulgar man fell face down, his nose was bruised and his face swollen. Blood was flowing out from his nose, and he was grimacing in pain. The few minions who were still in the tavern weren't even able to see how Long Fei had attacked. Hearing the vulgar man's order, they subconsciously took a step forward and smashed their fists towards Long Fei. Bam! Bang! Bang! 3 lackeys and 3 loud bangs. Within a second, all of them were in the tavern, smashing the man who had just gotten up onto the ground. The 4 of them stacked together. The man spat out everything he ate in the morning. Very quickly, it was very sharp. Long Fei's eyes moved slightly as he said, "I'm in a good mood today, I don't want to start a massacre." Scram! With a cold glint in his eye, the killing thought's aura was slowly released. The wretched man and the other 3 hurriedly crawled their way out, escaping to a safe distance. The man shouted in anger, "Kid, just you wait. I'll kill you." After he finished speaking, he swiftly dashed into the crowd. Long Fei didn't pay any attention to him. "I'll endure you once, twice. Not now." Song Qianqian looked at Long Fei and said, "He is the nephew of the Endless City's city lord." Long Fei laughed, "Seems like you understand me quite well, you wouldn't have been waiting for me here since long ago, right?" Song Qianqian did not hide anything and she knew that she could not hide it either. It was impossible for such a coincidence to exist in this world, so she smiled and said, "I know that you are going to the Sea of the Underworld Kings." Long Fei was startled, and looked at Song Qianqian. Song Qianqian slightly said, "Dragon Body Tomb." At this moment, Long Fei was startled, he then laughed and said, "Seems like your dark domain's Chenji city is very strong, even I know that you are looking for your Dragon Body Tomb, did you place someone by my side?" He had no choice but to doubt it. Moreover, even if Long Fei had someone planted beside him, Long Fei had never told anyone that he was going to the Dragon Body Tomb. Song Qianqian said, "Our people went to the Shi Desert. The Dragon Body Tomb map was stolen, I think it should be you." Song Qianqian laughed and said, "I didn't expect you to be an expert at stealing things." Long Fei moved forward slightly and laughed, "I'm also an expert at stealth." Their eyes met. Long Fei wanted to see through Song Qianqian. Song Qianqian also wanted to see through Long Fei, so there seemed to be sparks flying in the middle of them. Finally, Song Qianqian was defeated, he withdrew his gaze and looked elsewhere, and said, "Hurry up and leave, otherwise you'll be surrounded by the Endless City's guards." Long Fei shrugged and said, "I'm not afraid with you here. Right. Let me introduce you, little junior sister Linglong." "Linglong, this is Dark Domain's Song Qianqian," Long Fei said. Linglong had been silently standing behind Long Fei, just like an obedient maid. Linglong obediently replied, "Sister Qian Qian." Song Qianqian looked at Linglong, "Little sister Linglong, this rogue didn't bully you, right?" Linglong shook her head, and said, "Senior brother is fine, he wouldn't bully me, he protected me the whole way, I didn't do anything." Song Qianqian looked at Linglong, saw her speaking with a small dimple at the corner of her mouth, then looked at her expression, and said, "Seems like you really know how to hide your feelings, and also how to steal a woman's heart." Long Fei said straightforwardly, "What about your heart? Let me steal it." Song Qianqian's eyes turned cold, then laughed, "That depends on your ability. Let's go. I've prepared everything." Song Qianqian did not want to stay too long, because she wanted to help Long Fei find the Dragon Body Tomb as soon as possible and help him get there as soon as possible. If that was the case, her mission was completed. She could take her mother far away and seek her freedom. Freedom. What a luxury for her. Long Fei said, "Why are you in such a hurry? You must have rested here for a few days. Senior brother, Linglong is not tired." Long Fei glanced at her and said, "I'm tired, I want to rest." "The emperor isn't in a rush, why are you all in a rush to become concubines?" "Huh." The 2 women looked at Xiong Longfei at the same time. Long Fei immediately laughed, "Just an analogy, just an analogy. Sea in Hell belongs to an unknown domain. It must be more dangerous than we thought it was. We also need to make some preparations." And Long Fei thought about the novel of tomb robbing he had read in his previous life and said, "The dragon god's tomb is actually in the sea in hell." Song Qianqian took out a sparkling and translucent pearl from his bosom, and said, "I have already prepared it for you, this is a water-repelling pearl. As long as you carry this pearl with you, it would be as if you are on land." Long Fei was startled, and said, "I still need pills. Is this bag enough?" Song Qianqian took out a bag of pills. F***. Long Fei said, I need a lot of immortal crystals, do you have them? Pater. A bag was smashed on the table. Song Qianqian did not even look at it and said, 50 immortal crystals, is that enough? 50. Long Fei's eyes lit up, and he said, damn, what a rich lady. Chapter 838, I am changing. Chapter 838, I am changing 1 immortal crystal and 100,000 fairy stones. 50 of them was equivalent to 5 million fairy stones. At the very least, it should be able to raise the overall level of the Shadow Squad by several times, right? Looking at the immortal crystals on the table, Long Fei took them without thinking. Don't take them for free. Moreover, right now, he really needed immortal crystals. Yang Huang Ancestor was so happy that it felt like it was New Year. He swallowed his saliva and said, what day is it today? Before he could finish, his mouth was already full. Long Fei disdainfully said, Ancestor, don't just sit around eating, you also want to test my hell core. Looking at the patriarch throw them into his mouth one by one, Long Fei felt his heart ache. Yang Huang Ancestor said, Brat, I'm not full, where would I get the resources to help them cultivate? Long Fei said, alright, since you are the boss then. At this moment, Song Qianqian looked at Long Fei and said, can we go now? Long Fei asked, do you still have more immortal crystals? Song Qianqian looked at Long Fei and said, what do you want so many immortal crystals for? You train in the Tao of Death, you use slaughter as a way to break through, you don't even need immortal crystals. Long Fei replied, who doesn't like immortal crystals? I don't even have a little junior sister like her. Linglong immediately said, senior brother, immortal crystals are too precious, I do not need them. Long Fei picked up the pellets on the table and threw them to Linglong, then said, the pellets here are all of high quality, you keep them, since our thousands of big sisters only have pellets. Dark Domain Song family. What kind of family was this? In the past, Long Fei might not know, but ever since then, he had specially checked it out. The Song family was the ruler of the Dark Domain. Song Qiancheng was even the Dark Domain's ruler who took over the entire Dark Domain. This kind of tycoon would definitely be rich. Song Qianqian replied, there are still some more pills, I don't have any more immortal crystals. 50 immortal crystals was all she had. In the distance. Boom, 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 boom. At the entrance of the street, 2 rows of guards walked over in unison. Their murderous auras were overflowing with menace. Linglong said lightly, senior brother, let's hurry up and go. Long Fei looked at Song Qianqian and said, since there are so many things here, let's go. Song Qianqian's sudden appearance caused Long Fei to shiver slightly, and after the previous test, he discovered that Song Qianqian couldn't wait to get to the sea in hell. She was more anxious than Long Fei. What was it for? Long Fei didn't know, but he really wanted to know. The 3 of them walked out of the tavern. The guards quickly rushed up, led by the vulgar man. He pointed to the front and shouted, it's up ahead, it's right in front. Long Fei turned around and glanced at the guards in the distance, and muttered to himself, what a great wave of experience. He did not stop to kill. Although it was a wave of good experience, those were all human, living people. Long Fei was not a homicidal maniac demon, he would not kill madly just because killing people could level up, he would only kill the people they deserved to kill. The 3 of them left the city. Song Qianqian quickly brought them to find a boat. He set sail to sea, sailing towards the endless sea. Western Desel Territory. Demon City. The people from God Emperor Academy are here. Yes, my lord. The Endless Mountains' strongholds have all been pulled out, and 600 brothers were wounded. How many have come? 2. Is it an elder-level powerhouse of the God Emperor Academy? No, that's not it. 2 disciples. Pa. The magic sect slapped his face. You were killed by 2 God Emperor Academy disciples and you still have the nerve to come back and report. Aren't you going to die? The man quickly got up and said, Master, those 2 people are very different. One of them possesses the divine bird rosefinch blood vessel, while the other is even more strange, sinister. Our people didn't even know that they died like that. Trash is trash. He only knows how to find excuses for himself. At this moment, a voice resounded in his mind. The magic sect's eyes darkened, and immediately shouted at the man, "Scram!" And then, he quickly entered the cultivation grounds of the Master of Magic Tribe and said, "Lord Master of Magic Tribe, please summon me." Master of Magic Tribe opened his eyes slightly, and said, "They're here." The Magic Tribe did not understand, and asked, "Who came?" Western Devil Lord laughed, "That kid from Long Family has come. He's currently in the Endless Ocean, they should be looking for you." He knew about the dragon body tomb as well. When the Wilds family suddenly disappeared, he was still not trapped by the people of the Long family. The Magic Tribe was shocked. Long Fei's palm technique of Big Day Tashigata was still imprinted in his mind, and he was overwhelmed with shock. "Master of Magic Tribe, what do you want me to do?" Western Devil Lord said. "I want you to capture them, I want to see him." The expression in the Magic Tribe's eyes changed slightly as he said, "Master of Magic Tribe, he is a member of the Long family. Since his ancestor is you, why not just directly kill him?" "Huh!" Master of Magic Tribe glared at him and said angrily, "Can't you hear what I'm about to say?" The Magic Tribe immediately knelt down. "Disciple has heard it clearly, disciple will immediately do it." Master of Magic Tribe said, "I will wake up the sea demons. At that time, he will lend you a helping hand." The Magic Tribe's eyes revealed excitement, and he said, "Thank you, Master of Magic Tribe." Palace Question of God wanted the things he wanted as well. Not just wanting it. He still wanted to take the entire dragon domain for himself. 6 million years ago, the Dragon Clan was the strongest palm of the gods' martial continent. Dragon Clan had fallen. However, there were a lot of spiritual treasures sealed away and there were a large number of foreign spirit treasures and secret techniques within these treasures. They would definitely surpass the power of immortality. This is what anyone wants. Lifespan. Whoever obtains the dragon domain would be able to control it. Palace Question of God. Dark Domains Chenji City. Western Desel Territory. They were all fighting over Long Fei. The storm stirred. It seemed calm, but this was the calm before the storm. Half a month later, above the sea. "We can't go any further. The land ahead is the land of the devils. We can't even get close to it. If we go in, we die." The captain pointed at the dark sea ahead. There was a huge black whirlpool that couldn't be passed through. Moreover, that place was protected by terrifying creatures, and it was called Death Gate. Long Fei looked at the map and said softly, "We will be at the sea in hell after we pass through." Song Chantian said, "Then let's go through." The captain immediately shook his head. "If I were to go, no matter how much money I give you, I wouldn't go. No one can pass through there, no one can escape the shackles of the law of death." The captain was really scared. He would never advance again. Long Fei looked at the pitch-black death gate, the corner of his mouth lifted upwards, and muttered, "I'm someone who went to hell before, what's a mere death gate worth?" Long Fei looked at Song Chantian and asked, "Are you ready? I'm going to transform." Chapter 839, Giant Beast Under Deep Sea. Chapter 839, Giant Beast Under Deep Sea. As soon as he finished, Long Fei fiercely jumped into the ocean and ferociously dived in. "The Emperor has appeared." Rumble. Long Fei, who had jumped into the sea, moved, whether or not he would leave the Mountain Sea Scripture Mode system and become an emperor. Then, he suddenly flew into the air, his voice resonating in Song Chantian and Ling Long's mind. "You too, jump up." The two girls were stunned. Song Chantian instantly jumped on it. Ling Long did not want to be outdone and followed him. The captain looked at the gigantic emperor, his face extremely pale, and immediately peed his pants in fright. "Mama, I want to go home, I want to go home." Rumble. Emperor dived back into the water, causing a huge wave that overturned the sky. Song Chantian and Ling Long tightly held onto each other. Both of them had water-repelling pearl on them, so they were not worried about the pressure in the water or breathing. Long Fei quickly rushed towards Deathgate. "Deathgate, right, I want to see how you will die." Long Fei's body drilled into the ground, disappearing into the depths. As they got closer and closer to the black vortex, The sea water continued to emit rumbling sounds. It was so deafening that no one could withstand it. The closer they got, the louder the sounds became, and the stronger the force became. An extremely strong suction force that even the gigantic emperor couldn't withstand, caused Long Fei to struggle with all his might as he roared in his heart, unparalleled at level 5. Open. Rumble. Long Fei's body exploded, his power tumbling, barely able to control his body. The idea sent a sound transmission to them, all of you hold tight. His body moved and his speed increased. Long Fei was already close to the edge of the whirlpool, where he could see the sky. His body was also unceasingly moving, and below him, it really was like a gigantic mouth of death was devouring everything. This was truly just like a death gate. Long Fei could not accept it, and roared angrily, "Do I need to be afraid of a whirlpool? Ah!" In front of the huge suction force, not to mention the huge emperor, even the aircraft carrier would not be able to withstand it. This wasn't it. The most important thing was that, what Long Fei was really doing to resist the strong suction force, was very strong. In the depths of the turbid ocean, a golden light flashed, and the golden light became stronger and stronger. In the end, it was as dazzling as the sun. Song Qianqian shouted loudly, "There's a demon beast." They could not see the golden light, but Long Fei could see it clearly. Long Fei was excited. "Damn, to think that we would be fighting a boss at this time. The heck, is he trying to take my life?" It was a boss, and a super boss at that. The golden light emitted from his body was extremely intense. Long Fei felt his heart itch, but it was very difficult for him to even take a step forward, not to mention caring about the boss or not. The golden light was getting closer and closer to Long Fei. The powerful aura rushed into Long Fei's sea of consciousness. Suddenly, the boss demon beast seemed to increase its speed. Long Fei raised his eyes slightly. "I'll go." This boss was a giant. Super giant. A strange-looking giant, a giant with gills on his face. Yang Huang ancestor said slightly, "The giant beast under deep sea race." Long Fei said, "Ancestor, we do not care what race he is from, think of something." Long Fei's body was sucked in by the swirling power. If he did not struggle with all his might, he would be instantly swallowed by the huge mouth. If Long Fei struggled with all his might, he would only be able to hold on and would not be able to take half a step forward. His heart went mad. The giant beast under deep sea stood in front of Long Fei. Emperor was also considered huge, but in front of this giant beast under deep sea, he was like an ant, incomparably weak. Song Qianqian stared at the huge demon and said, "Long Fei, what do we do?" Long Fei said, "Generally, the eyes of monsters in the deep seas aren't very good. Right now, we can only pray that it won't be able to see us." "He can't see me, can't see me, can't see me." Ling Long followed up, "I can't see senior brother, I can't see senior brother, I can't see." Long Fei wanted to explode. However, in this situation, let alone killing a boss, even if it didn't kill the boss, it would still burn incense. "Ah!" Long Fei shouted hysterically. He frantically attacked and felt uncomfortable being stared at by a boss. Moreover, the boss was staring at him and did nothing at all. Bit by bit, Long Fei used all of his strength and walked forward with his life on the line. As he was getting further and further away from the vortex, Long Fei muttered to himself in his heart, "I'm still a little bit away from it. I'm still a little bit away from it." Ling Long was still chanting, "It can't see the senior brother, it can't see the senior brother." Song Qianqian also followed, "Just a bit more. Long Fei, you can do it." As long as he could break through the whirlpool, he would be safe. The suction force grew lighter and lighter, and Long Fei's speed increased bit by bit. He was also excited in his heart. "Ha ha ha. I guessed it right, all the life forms in the deep sea are blind, ha ha ha." But, before he could finish rejoicing, a string of huge bubbles appeared in the sea water. On the surface of the sea, an incomparably huge mace cut through the surface of the sea, causing huge waves to roll in the air as it was thrown downwards. Hualala, hualala, hualala. His strength soared as he heavily smashed down, completely ignoring Hai Shui's assistance. "Danger!" Yang Huang ancestor shouted. Song Qianqian immediately protected Ling Long, and said to Long Fei, Hurry. Long Fei also felt the powerful force above his head crushing down. The anger in his heart roiled, not because of the boss's actions, but because the boss had always been toying with him. When he was about to charge out of the whirlpool, he smashed the rod down again. What was this called? This is called a game. It was like playing with a monkey, letting you be cocky, letting you be cocky, letting you be cocky as much as you want. How cocky? That was the trick. Long Fei was truly angry, but no matter how angry he was, there was nothing he could do. He could only try his best to avoid it. However, his speed was too slow. Bam! The mace smashed down heavily, smashing onto Emperor's back. Crack! With the bones on his back broken, Long Fei's body caved in and he spat out a large mouthful of blood. The system beeped. Ding! System notification. Player's beast transformation mode is heavily injured. Please quickly recover your real face. Ding! System notification. Player's beast transformation mode is heavily injured. Please quickly recover your real face. The system glowed red. This move of the boss's was a critical hit to Long Fei. Long Fei clenched his teeth and advanced forward with all his might. Hualala! The giant beast under deep sea smashed down with its mace again, and once more smashed onto Emperor's back. Emperor's body was about to break. Long Fei spat out a mouthful of fresh blood as he roared in his heart, F***ck your ancestors. Bam! Another staff shot down. The Emperor's body had already been broken. If Long Fei didn't return to the real face, he would die along with him. Chapter 840 Arrest. Chapter 840 Arrest. The system's red alert continuously flashed. If he didn't return to the real face, Long Fei would die with him due to Emperor's death. But if he transformed back into the real face, Song Qianqian and Ling Long might die. F***ck. Deathgate, right? I'm giving it my all. Long Fei had no other choice. He was already retreating, and no longer had the strength to struggle anymore. Looking at the mace in giant beast under deep sea's hands smashing down once again, he cursed in his heart, as long as I don't die, you just wait. You guys are holding on tight. Long Fei suddenly retracted his power. A powerful vortex of energy directly sucked him into the water. Rumble. The giant beast under deep sea's staff struck empty air, but he saw that when Long Fei was swept into the vortex, he revealed a cold smile, which was extremely terrifying. Long Fei's heart sank, and thought to himself, it's over. The reason why the giant beast under deep sea had been attacking him this entire time was because they wanted to blast him into the whirlpool and drag him into the mouth of death. What exactly was below Deathgate? Ah! The sky and earth spun, and Long Fei's power had already completely lost balance. As it went down, the power became denser and denser, and he could not hold it in at all. Ding! Red alert! Ding! Red alert! Please quickly recover real face. Red alert! Please quickly recover real face. Emperor's body had already reached its limit, his health point was less than 100 points, it was useless even if Long Fei used his rebirth technique as his health point had decreased too quickly. Don't blind lousy, I know. Long Fei roared in his heart. He was very clear about the current situation, but he was even more clear about the situation between Song Qianqian and Ling Long. If Long Fei suddenly changed back to the real face, they would be flung out, and their bodies would be smashed into pieces. Even the Golden Immortal or Yuanxian Realm Powerhouse would not be able to take it at this time. Ah! Long Fei used his last breath and directly broke through the ocean surface and rushed into the eye of the vortex. It was also at this time. The giant beast under deep sea smashed down with its staff. The huge wave came crashing down, destroying Long Fei's last bit of hope to escape. Long Fei paid his respects to this giant beast under deep sea's 18 generations of ancestors 18 times. There's no way to live, right? I'll fight it out with you. He turned around. He fell down from the eye of the whirlpool. I want to see what you are going to do down there. There was no other way. The heavens had no door, so he could only enter the earth. The first time. This was the first time Long Fei had been beaten into a human by a boss, and he was extremely angry in his heart. But he really had no other choice, and the strength of this giant beast under deep sea was too strong. As long as your father doesn't die, I will definitely come back to cripple you. Long Fei continuously descended, and his health point also continued to decrease. The system was still issuing the red alert. Long Fei still did not waver, and continued to crazily descend. Endure it, you must endure it. 1 second. 2 seconds. 3 seconds. Hualala. Suddenly, Long Fei and the other two fell into the deepest part of the cave, and were engulfed by a huge dark mouth. In that instant, Long Fei and the others felt as if they had fallen into another space. A burst of darkness suddenly became blinding. He fell down from the sky. With only one last bit of health point remaining, Long Fei looked down and his heart relaxed slightly. He said in an incomparably weak voice, "The rest, you all." Not waiting for him to finish. The idea moved, returned to real face. Whoosh. Long Fei had recovered the real face's flesh, but he had also sunk into a coma. Emperor's body did not disappear, but when Long Fei recovered the real face's body, he was split into 2 pieces. Dead. Just 1 more second and Long Fei will die with him. Ding. System notification. The beast transformation mode Emperor is dead, unable to turn into a beast again. Long Fei said in his consciousness, "Giant beast under deep sea, I'll definitely kill you." His consciousness also fainted. Song Qianqian's gaze tensed up. Long Fei. Controlling the air, he hugged Long Fei. Ling Long frowned, releasing the rosefinch blood vessel's power, creating a pair of colorful wings behind her back. She was also floating in the air. Senior brother. Tears fell down. She couldn't help it. Song Qianqian looked around and said, "It's fine, he's just too weak and fainted." And then, she looked at the wings behind Ling Long's back and was slightly surprised. Vein of ancient rosefinch. Ling Long anxiously asked, "Sister Qian, is senior brother really all right?" Song Qianqian recovered his expression and said, "I'll be fine after I rest for a while." The two of them slowly descended from the high skies. Below them was another world, a continent, and a lush and verdant forest beneath their feet. In the distance was a large city. However, he was utterly defeated, as though he had suffered a calamity. Song Qianqian looked at his surroundings, and muttered, "Just what kind of place is this?" Her heart trembled. Could it be the dragon domain? This was a special world. A world at the bottom of the sea. Ling Long continued, "This could be the Transu. The lost continent." Song Qianqian was startled, and said, "You mean the Transu Empire who disappeared even earlier than the Dragon Domain? The most powerful empire in the West?" Ling Long nodded her head, "I'm not sure either, but senior brother mentioned the Transu Empire." Song Qianqian looked at Long Fei who was in his embrace, and thought to himself, could it be that he's not here to look for Dragon Body Tomb? Or should I say, the Dragon Body Tomb is on this lost continent. Because of the disappearance of the apocalypse, the dragon race rose in power and dominated the gods' martial continent. After that, the apocalypse followed the descent of the apocalypse. Does this mean the lost continent is related to the dragon race? Song Qianqian's forehead was locked tight. She felt that the Transu must be related to the dragon race, and her instincts told her that it was very likely that the Dragon Body Tomb was somewhere in the lost continent. Long Fei, who exactly are you? Son of the Prophet? Someone from the Long family? Or, you are basically a member of the dragon race? Song Qianqian was becoming more and more confused by the dragon. The more they were together, the more he couldn't see clearly. Bam! Bam! The two of them landed on the ground. Song Qianqian slowly put Long Fei down and the two of them looked around the forest. Her delicate nose twitched and she said, "Sister Qian, did you notice that something was wrong?" Song Qianqian also had a bad feeling about this. She could feel something moving underground, and a strange aura was emanating from it. Suddenly, Ling Long fell to the ground, fainting. "There's poison in the air." Song Qianqian's cultivation was very strong, but she was only able to persevere for a few more seconds before she fainted. After she fainted, an old deep voice sounded. A towering tree laughed, "Welcome to my world." Chapter 841, All break for me. Chapter 841, All break for me. Eat them? Eat people? We're tree spirits, can we eat humans? Is it delicious? What we need is fertilizer, not human flesh. I suggest we bury them. I heard that the human body is the best fertilizer in the world, so we can grow thick and strong. While Long Fei was unconscious, Ling Long, Song Qianqian was poisoned by the smell of a plant and fainted. While they were unconscious, these Ents were whispering to each other. They were currently discussing how to eat Long Fei and the other two. As they discussed, inside Long Fei's body, Poisonous Ancestor was annoyed. You want to play poison in front of me? Isn't this a bunk next to the latrine, not far from shit? When the Green Dragon Ancestor fell down to hear from Long Fei, he had been deep in thought. To the gods' martial continent, they were outsiders. Entering the gods' martial continent with power and influence had also disrupted this continent, and the Transu Empire, which was in its prime, was one of them. Seeing that, especially those cities that had suffered from war, Green Dragon Ancestor said softly, Transu. It's because we had a calamity. This continent is because our dragon race is placed in the dark depths of the sea by the seal. The Green Dragon Ancestor's words fell. All the dragons were shocked. Black Dragon Ancestor said, Are you saying that this is the Transu Empire, and that this is our first stop in God's martial continent? Golden Dragon Master said, It should be one of our dragon race's posts in the endless universe. Because of our arrival, they were affected by the calamity, and because of this, we avoided the first calamity. Green Dragon Ancestor slightly said, Gold Dragon is right, Transu bore a calamity on our behalf. We owe the Transu. Transu believed in the God of Heaven, and they called this calamity the God of Heaven's punishment. Because this calamity had fallen from the sky. The thunderbolt strike had left them virtually no time to prepare for it. The continent where the empire was located had instantly sunk. The entire continent sank into the depths of the sea. The seal was at the bottom of the deep sea. More than 3 million years ago, Wild's family discovered Dragon Body Tomb. Coincidentally, the lost continent also started at that time. The Devil's Sea appeared here. Blood Dragon Ancestor said slightly, So, the boss body is also buried here. Is it a form of redemption? Green Dragon Ancestor said slightly, Not only boss, there's also. Black Dragon Ancestor said lightly, Sea Dragon King. It's the Sea Dragon King. He's also here with the seal to protect the Transu. Big Brother Sea Dragon? Ghost Dragon was excited. He's here too? Ha ha ha. The center of Green Dragon Ancestor's brows furrowed, and said, Sea Dragon doesn't want to be here. He had a battle with Boss, and in the end was defeated by Boss, so he had no choice but to be here with Seal. I'm worried. Sea Dragon King was slightly different from them. Sea Dragon King did not want to be Seal, he did not want to wait for some prophecy's son, because he did not believe that Yuan Long would be able to withstand the calamity after they were reborn in a few million years. Not this time, just after rebirth. It was even more impossible. However, in the battle against the Yuan Long, he had lost and could only be defeated by the seal as hundreds of years had passed, and he had not submitted to the Yuan Long before. Long Fei was just a virtual immortal stage, how could he accept it? This was what the Azure Dragon was worried about. Poisonous Ancestor said, Let's not talk about this for now, these tree spirits want to bury the three of them. I don't care. And then, the moment the Poisonous Ancestor made his move, a pungent smell rushed into Long Fei's nervous system. He instantly woke up and cursed, Damn, who's farting? Long Fei's voice fell. The Azure Dragon, Black Dragon, Blood Dragon, Gold Dragon, and Ghost Dragon were all looking at the Poisonous Ancestor. The Poisonous Ancestor shrugged and said, I have no other choice. Ha ha ha. Laughter. Long Fei suddenly woke up to see Ling Long and Song Qianqian both hanging in the air by two tree vines, both of them unconscious. Heh! Long Fei frowned. At this moment, Shua, a tree vine swept towards Xiong Long Fei like lightning. Kneel down, little one. Long Fei's gaze swept the area, seeing that there were no people around. He immediately thought of the tree man on the Yuling Island, and muttered, Could it be that all of these are tree spirits? He couldn't care less. The dragon Salia in Long Fei's hand fiercely swung and cut the tree vines in half. My hand. My hand was cut off. Pain, 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 it's killing me. A towering tree screamed. At the same time, several towering trees nearby started to move as well. The roots of the trees began to seep out from the ground as a strong plant-type energy crazily crushed Xiong Longfei. The dense cluster of tree roots interweaved together to form a huge root net that covered Longfei. Rub. We let the Treant go at Yuling Island, it's here. The dragon Salia in Longfei's hands shook, and a strong blade aura ignited. This time, I will definitely not let you off. Whoosh 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 asterisk. The dragon Salia slashed crazily, the blade chi wreaked havoc, causing broken branches and branches to fly everywhere. The sword technique was very fast, it was so fast that no one could see it. But the binding speed of these roots was even faster. Furthermore, they possessed an endless amount of regeneration ability. Whenever you cut them in half, they would instantly grow out, causing the roots of the trees in all directions to sweep towards Longfei. He was instantly trapped. Puny human. We're going to bury you. Be our tree manure. Kill him. All of them were incomparably arrogant. The strength of the plant type was very strong. Dragon Salia S could not do it, they were killed too quickly, and their speed was completely useless. Immediately, the dragon Salia withdrew. Longfei frowned for a while, then shouted out, "You aren't afraid of the blade, right? Let's see if you're afraid of fire." Burning heaven. Buzz. Once the sky-burning dragon gun appeared, the spear body ignited. The power of Celestial in Longfei's body surged, and he yelled in his heart, "Rage of the burning heaven, rumble." A powerful force exploded from the dragon's spear. Black flames engulfed everything, instantly incinerating the cage formed from the interweaving roots. Bam! Bam! The surrounding dryads were all knocked away. One by one, they screamed, "Ah, ah, 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 it burns me to death. Ah, pain, pain, pain." It was like a rat scurrying away. After quickly retreating, bright red damage numbers crazily floated up above their heads. As the damage above their heads floated upwards, his body began to shrink and shrink rapidly. The dryad, right? Longfei's eyes swept across the area, and looked at the surrounding spirits of the trees. The corners of his mouth curled up, and he laughed coldly. "Now, it's your daddy's turn. Explode for me one at a time." Chapter 842, There is a Boss. Chapter 842, There is a Boss. The long spear moved, the ethereal footwork beneath Longfei's feet, suddenly rushed forward. Shua. A spear stabbed into the roots of the tree, his arms suddenly exerted force, and with a heavy lift, Shua, he directly sent a towering tree flying into the air. And then, only after snatching it out like a dragon did he manage to pierce through with great force. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, whoosh whoosh whoosh, asterisk on the dragon spear, black flames burned within the tree spirit, crazily reducing the blood on its head. "Explode for me." Boom. A tree essence cracked and its body exploded into flames. At the same time, the system sounded out. Ding. Congratulations to player Longfei 4 killing Tree Demon for obtaining 19,000 experience, 200 power of celestial points, and 1 energy values point. Congratulations to player Longfei for obtaining Treant Bloodvein. Do you wish to fuse it? Congratulations to player Longfei for obtaining Wood Spirit Source. Your experience points is pretty good. Longfei took a look at his experience. 19,000 points of experience points was indeed not bad, and once he saw the Wood Spirit Source, Longfei asked, "Ancestor, what is this thing?" The Yang Huang ancestor said, "A type of power is the same as the fire essence you use to refine weapons. Fuse." Hearing Yang Huang ancestor's words, Longfei moved. Ding. Congratulations to player Longfei for successfully merging with Wood Spirit Source. The current fusion rate is 1%. Huh. It can still be upgraded, right? Then continue. Longfei retracted his dragon spear, and said, again, he slaughtered his way up. The tree spirit moved very slowly, and in the face of the sharp dragon spears, their attacks were completely useless. Sky-burning dragon gun. The reason he was called Burning Heaven was because he could even burn the sky. It was even easier. Longfei muttered in his heart, "Tree spirit, oh tree spirit, can I get a golden body? I don't have much time, Just 5 minutes of the golden body's time is enough. Seconds in the game. Long Fei wanted 5 minutes. This was defying the heaven's will. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Tree Demon for obtaining 19,000 experience, 200 power of celestial and 1 energy values. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the wood spirit source. Do you wish to fuse it? Fuse. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for merging with wood spirit source. Current fusion degree, 50%. Continue. Long Fei continued to kill crazily as he chased after the tree demon and shouted arrogantly, "Aren't you all crazy? Aren't you going to bury me alive? Come on." Suddenly, a strange smell floated into Long Fei's nose. Next. "Brat, you're going to die soon. Soon, we'll tear your body apart and use your blood to irrigate the tree seeds. Then, we'll use your power of celestial to nurture those tree people that you just killed." Long Fei's nerves were in chaos. With a shout in his heart, he said, "Poison dragon, roar." Poisonous ancestor let out a roar and said excitedly, "It's finally my turn to go up on stage. What the hell is this poison that you all are releasing? I'll let you all experience the poison of the myriad poison ancestor." The poisonous dragon was extremely stinky. After rushing out of Long Fei's body, it began to churn in the air. And then, his stomach swelled and he rushed down. At this time, Green Dragon Ancestor immediately said, "Boss, quickly pinch your nose." Long Fei didn't react for a moment, and said, "Hold on to your nose." "Why?" Plop. With a loud bang, a huge fart came out from the poisonous dragon's body. Following that, poisonous fog filled the sky and instantly diffused outwards. His speed was as fast as lightning. Long Fei also absorbed a bit of it, and his face immediately changed and became green. Long Fei almost fainted from the stench, and he remembered the last time he was in the Thousand Poison Lake. F***ck. Long Fei could not help but scold angrily, "Poison dragon, could you not be so disgusting? Holy ***t. Without waiting for Long Fei to finish speaking, the poison dragon once again farted, and said, "I made a mistake just now, and forgot that you Treants don't know how to breathe, but this time you got it right." This time, it was a poop yellow poisonous fog. The poison mist was very heavy, and as soon as it touched the ground, it immediately entered the body. And then again. The fecal yellow poisonous miasma stank even more. Long Fei could no longer hold back and shouted in his heart, "Hit him ruthlessly for me later." Poisonous ancestor said smugly, "Are you guys worthy of using poison in front of me?" He was completely immersed in the world of poison. He looked intoxicated. To him, this was the best thing in the world. It was also the best taste. Fut. 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 At that moment, Long Fei pointed at Xiaobai's big move. He suddenly realized how happy he was at that time. Xiaobai had only caused him to lose face, but the poison dragon had made him lose his life. However, there was one advantage to it. Linglong and Song Qianqian were awakened by his poison. Song Qianqian frowned, his expression ashen, and asked, "What is this? It stinks like hell." Linglong said, "Did we fall into the latrine?" Other than that. In Long Fei's mind, the system beep kept ringing. Ding. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Tree Demon for obtaining 19,000 experience, 200 power of celestial points, and 1 energy values point. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for successfully fusing with wood spirit source with an absorption rate of 89%. The tree demons rapidly decreased. Their leaves quickly turned yellow and fell. Their branches rapidly withered and then their bark fell. Their health point seemed to have declined rapidly. In just half a minute, tens of thousands of HP disappeared in an instant. This attack. He had to say it. Exposure. And it was a group attack. Poisonous ancestor fart a few more times as he said excitedly, "Ha ha ha. This is great, this must be great enough. Ha ha ha." A large group of tree men had died, and the poison of the dragon was like a rain of sulfuric acid. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Currently at the 3rd stage of Virtual Immortals. It leveled up. Awesome. Long Fei shouted excitedly, "Poison dragon, continue." Poisonous ancestor laughed mischievously. "Boss, it's great. However, about that, I don't have any energy left. Allow me to take a rest." Following that, poisonous ancestor drilled back into Long Fei's body. At this moment, the Azure Dragon, Blood Dragon, 8 Golden Dragons, Ghost Dragon, and Black Dragon violently struck his body the moment the poisonous dragon entered Long Fei's body. "It feels great, does it feel good? I'll make you feel good. Have you considered our feelings before? You're a dragon." Poisonous ancestor giggled, he was completely crazy. Ling Long and Song Qianqian covered their noses as they walked to Long Fei's side, and asked, "Just what is that stinky thing?" They were surrounded by the fart mist of the poisonous dragon, so they couldn't clearly see what had just happened in the air. Long Fei didn't know how to explain it, and said, "This, that, I don't know either." At this moment, Long Fei didn't have the mind to care about all this as he muttered in his heart, "Logically speaking, there should be a boss here. I still want to get a golden body or something." It was also at this moment that, shua, a burst of power shot out, followed by a flash of golden light. As expected, there's a boss. Chapter 843, Dragonlance, the Dragon Sallier has been robbed. Chapter 843, Dragonlance, the Dragon Sallier has been robbed. "Be careful," Long Fei shouted. Song Qianqian grabbed onto Ling Long and leaped into the air. Behind Ling Long's back, the 7-colored wings were revealed, and she said, "Sister Qian Qian, you go help senior brother. I can do it." Song Qianqian looked at the old tree in the distance that looked like it had been asleep for millions of years, and said, "Long Fei, right in front of us, Dryad King." Understood. Long Fei moved as if he was flying and quickly made his way up. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Numerous tree roots shot out from the ground like arrows. Long Fei didn't dodge at all and rushed towards the golden light, also charging through the dense fog where the poisonous ancestor was. Boom! With a loud bang, a huge tree root rushed towards Xiong Longfei like a gigantic demon beast. The sky-burning dragon gun in Long Fei's hand moved, piercing through the air. Whoosh! The dragon spear pierced through the huge tree roots, sending wood dust flying everywhere. However, before he could pull the spear out, the strong tree roots quickly healed and tightly bound the dragon spear. The root rolled. Boom! It instantly rose into the air and threw Long Fei flying. Dryad King had also sucked the dragon spear into the air. Swish! Ling Long moved her body, hugging Long Fei who was flung away. "Senior brother, are you alright?" Long Fei replied, "I'm fine." At this time, the Dryad King suddenly pulled out the dragon spear that he had rolled up. Hualala. The huge tree roots had pierced deep into the ground and were still there. As if it had been devoured by the tree spirits, Long Fei's face darkened. It was also at this moment. Deep beneath their feet, above a huge hexagram array, sky-burning dragon gun fell down. "Fen Tian, long time no see," a deep voice rang out. The sky-burning dragon gun moved, and his voice also rose up. "See Dragon King? Ha 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 ha. I didn't expect you to still remember me. But you're right, back then I was the first to discover you. It was just that you chose the Yuan Long Sea Dragon King said slowly. How is it? Now, follow me. I can bring you back to the divinity and fight against those real divine weapons." Sea Dragon King's aura crazily burst out. The entire formation of the hexagram was trembling, as if it was about to break at any moment. Other than that, there was even the power of the Yuan Long in his power. The sky-burning dragon gun's voice sank, and said, "You swallowed the dragon's body from the dragon body tomb?" Sea Dragon King lightly said, "The heaven and earth spirit treasure has its uses. Since the Yuan Long wanted to bury its body in my body, then she wants me to protect it. Isn't that the power of the Yuan Long's body that she gave me for nothing? Why not?" The sky-burning dragon gun trembled and said, "Sea Dragon King, are you crazy?" Sea Dragon Ancestor roared with laughter. "Crazy? No matter how crazy I am, is there a crazy Yuan Long? He was actually reborn 6 million years ago, and handed everything over to a trash that was still just a virtual immortal stage until now, based on him. To be able to withstand the tribulation that came from the divinity, Pui. If he had listened to me back then, why would the dragon clan be so stubborn? What prophesies son? What prophesies son? What prophesies calamity will come to an end in 6 million years? It's all bullshit. Who are we? We are of the supreme dragon race, even in the divinity, we are noble existences. What do we count as now? Pitiful lowly bugger. I don't want to live like this. I want to control my own destiny. The Sea Dragon King said with incomparable indignation. He had had enough of the seal after 6,305 years. He had also waited for a full 6,305 years. Today, he had finally arrived. After which, his voice softened as he said, Fen Tian, come with me. He can't give you what you want. He can't give you what he wants in the past, but he can't give it now. I can. Fen Tian, follow me, kill our way back to the divinity. The dragon spear was swallowed up. Long Fei was stunned, but he went crazy. The dragon salya in his hands were like thunder. Spit out the dragon spear for me. Spit it out. Spit out the dragon spear. Saber crazed, he was even crazier. At this moment, Long Fei was completely like a madman, crazily striking out at the Dryad King, but no matter how fierce his power was, it was completely blocked. Dryad King disdainfully said, a piece of trash like you is not worthy of possessing it. You can't use his strength. If I follow you, I will only bury his strength. Brat, you don't have the qualifications, do you understand? Dryad King's cold voice sounded. At the same time, the incomparably thick tree roots crazily patted at Xiong Longfei, but Long Fei did not dodge at all, he only cut one root off. Song Qianqian also quickly attacked and shouted at Long Fei, this won't do if this continues. We can't kill it. Find its weakness. Long Fei was also clear about this in his heart. Just this alone was not enough to kill Dryad King. He continued to cut down the roots, but it did not cause much damage to Dryad King. He was just unhappy, especially what the Dryad King said. Long Fei roared in his heart as the dragon salya slashed down, killing God Chop. Rumble. The black dragon saber's chi broke through the sky and chopped down heavily. Dryad King laughed, dragon salya? Black dragon blade chi? So weak. 10,000 trees in the sky. One huge wooden pillar after another shot up to the sky from Dryad King's side, firmly blocking the black dragon saber chi that Long Fei released, and could not even hack them in half. It was also at this moment. The dragon salya landed on a huge tree root and was once again bitten by the tree root and stabbed deep into the ground. Another weapon dropped from the 6-point stars formation. It was the dragon salya. Sea Dragon King laughed contemptuously, Yuan Long? King of Dragon Domain, humph. They couldn't even withstand a single blow. And then, his idea moved, and said, I need his blood essence to break open my seal. Dryad King immediately replied, understood, my lord. The dragon spear was taken away. The dragon salya was taken away again. The difference in strength was too big, and he could not withstand it at all. Furthermore, he did not even know how to break the Dryad King's defense. Even the killing God Chop was blocked. Cluck, 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 cluck. Long Fei was enraged, all the joints in his body popping out, he was infuriated to the extreme. Dryad King laughed coldly, lame duck, are you angry? Ha ha ha. If you can't even protect your own weapon, what use do you think you will have? What right do you have to own them? You are not qualified. Do you understand? Trash, you do not have the qualifications. Dryad King's words rang in Long Fei's mind, and the anger in his heart continuously flared up. The dragon spear was stolen. The dragon salya was robbed. What did Long Fei have left? He still had a heart that would never admit defeat. I'll let you know what qualifications are. Long Fei roared hysterically, Super Saiyang mode. Open for me. Chapter 844 Boom. Your mother doesn't even know you. Chapter 844 Boom. Your mother doesn't even know you are. Long Fei clenched his fists tightly, his muscles bursting out, causing his clothes to burst, and his hair to turn gold, his hair flying to the sky with anger. The powerful aura was burning crazily. At this moment, a countdown appeared in Long Fei's mind. Song Qianqian saw Long Fei's sudden change, and felt Long Fei's power. Her heart trembled violently, so strong. In just a short span of 1 month, Long Fei had already become strong to this extent. It was too terrifying. Moreover, Song Qianqian had never seen Long Fei unleash this kind of power before, nor had she seen any other warriors erupt with such power. This power was simply too unfamiliar. It was a complete super explosion. Ling Long also had a face full of shock, her fists tightly clenched, as she muttered to herself in a low voice, "Senior brother, do your best." Boom. Long Fei took a step forward, and said to Song Qianqian who was in the air, "Both of you retreat first, I want to beat this guy *T out of him." Song Qianqian retreated back and said, "Long Fei, you have to be careful on your own." Ling Long also spread her wings and retreated a little. "Be careful, senior brother." Long Fei stared at the Dryad King and said, "Today, this old man will let you experience what it means to have the qualifications." As soon as he finished, bam! Long Fei's body shot outwards. From the original location of the attack, there was a muffled sound of energy hitting the ground. Disappeared. When the idea of the Dryad King made its move, he immediately locked onto Long Fei who was in mid-air and laughed in disdain. "Trash is trash everywhere. This is an unchangeable fact." While they were talking, 10,000 would go to the sky. Boom! Dryad King bellowed, and the gigantic tree roots on the ground exploded outwards, densely sealing off all of Long Fei's attack routes. Dryad King sneered, "You're too slow." Bang, bang, bang. 10,000 wooden blast. It was like an array network was attacking Long Fei. However, Long Fei's figure, which was originally hovering in mid-air, had been shattered. At this moment, Dryad King's heart tensed up. There was a person standing in front of him, a man whose entire body was burning with golden hair. Long Fei smiled. "Who's slow?" Without waiting for Dryad King to use the second move, Long Fei's right fist moved, striking out. Bam! Rumble! The fist broke through the air, the power of the Super Saiyang blood vein exploding outwards. With a single punch, it caused Dryad King's entire body to split apart, and the gigantic tree started to tremble. Without waiting for him to react, Long Fei punched out again, and roared, "Who's the trash now?" Bam! This punch was even more powerful, and directly hit Dryad King straight up. The incomparably huge Dryad King was blasted into the air. Long Fei stepped forward with one leg and flew into the air, landing on top of Dryad King's body. He stared at Dryad King and coldly said, "Speak, who is the *King trash now?" Bam! A heavy blow came down. Dryad King's enormous body was pierced through by Long Fei's fist. The roots trembled and the leaves crazily fell. "Speak. Now, who is the cripple?" Long Fei enunciated each word, bringing about a huge killing force as he punched down with his right fist. Dryad King was smashed to the ground. Long Fei's body dropped, and without waiting for Dryad King to land, he threw another punch at God's general, and roared, "Stealing my dragon spear? Seize my dragon salya? Who gave you the guts?" Bang, bang. Just now, when Dryad King had been struck until his roots were pulled out, there were no longer any dragon spears or dragon salyas on the tree roots. Long Fei did not know. However, these two weapons were too important for him to lose. It was also because of this that the old flame in Long Fei's heart burned so hot that he could not endure it any longer. Dryad King's entire body was cracking, his branches were splitting apart, and his tree roots were withering, however, he was sneering, "Brat, you won't be able to kill me. With just you. You can't kill me. You don't even have the qualifications to kill me." Very arrogant. Even though Long Fei had crushed him to such a state, Dryad King was still the same arrogant, and not the slightest bit afraid. "I'm done for." Long Fei became angry. "Who gave you the courage? Who was it that made you dare to be so arrogant in front of me? Compete in arrogance. I'm 10,000 times more arrogant than you." Boom. Long Fei's right foot suddenly stepped out, he stood in place, then leaped into the air and rushed down. His fists moved, bringing with it a fire of power, as he said, Let's see how high your resistance is. Ah! 10,000 tyrant fists. Bang, 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 bang. Long Fei's fists were like lightning as they frantically struck down, striking down frantically from above Dryad King's head. The leaf was smashed into points. The branch was destroyed. The mace and mace clashed together, 1386 punches. 3,672 punches. 6,893 punches. Every punch was stronger than the last, and every punch was heavier than the last. Long Fei was completely deranged. Song Qianqian was dumbstruck. Linglong was also dumbfounded. None of them had ever seen such a Long Fei before. At this moment, Long Fei was like a devil. Dryad King was blown into a tree shape. From high in the air to the ground, to deep in the crater, Long Fei's fist descended and wood chips filled the sky. 998 punches. Long Fei roared out, his right fist moved, and smashed down again, 99 punches. Boom. The 10,000 punch. Rumble. The last punch, Long Fei hugged onto both of his fists and cleaved them downwards like a battle axe. The deep pit split open. The cracks quickly extended and covered everything within 10 kilometers like a meteorite colliding. Long Fei slowly stood up and coldly said condescendingly, "Give this daddy one more arrogant." Terrifying. It was impossible to put into words. The entire scene was completely suppressed by the arrogant aura on Long Fei's body. What's called Super Saiyan mode. Now, the Super Saiyan's blood in his body was burning, the blood of a berserk warrior was burning crazily. In the deep pit, the originally huge Dryad King was now only left with a small wooden stake. This was his heart, and also the hardest part of his body. Had been completely beaten stupid by Long Fei. Long Fei said again, "Are you qualified now?" Ah! Trash. He was truly infuriated. Even though Dryad King had been blasted to such a state, the anger in his heart did not decrease in the slightest, and had not been vented at all. It was also at this time. Dryad King laughed coldly, and said, "I already said, you can't kill me, ha ha ha." Suddenly, from the deep pit, a powerful aura dispersed out, crazily fusing into Dryad King's body. Long Fei was very familiar with this aura. The aura of a Yuan Long. At this moment, the center of Long Fei's brows tightened, and his anger ignited even more. "I do not believe that I can't overturn you." Chapter 845 Strongest Move. Chapter 845 Strongest Move. The 8 generations of ancestors were all enraged. "I really can't stand it." Being so arrogant like this, Long Fei was really not in a good mood. Looking at Dryad King who was in the deep pit, the Yuan Long aura released from inside the crevice was crazily being absorbed by him. His body once again became incomparably huge, and he laughed deeply. "I've said it before, a trash like you won't be able to kill me, ha ha ha. Ha ha ha." Just now, above the hexagram, Burning Heaven slightly said, "See Dragon King, you've lost." Black Dragon Ancestor's voice also sounded, "See Dragon, boss choice was correct. You can't have broken through boundary and returned to divinity, your cultivation is simply not enough." "Shut up." See Dragon King was furious and said, "Black Dragon, who do you think you are? Do you think you have the qualifications to teach me a lesson? If the Yuan Long had not chosen to avoid the battle, would we have dodged to this low realm? And he's even been bound by the power of the laws of this plane. It's all because of him. If not for him, how strong were our dragon race in the divinity? How could we have fallen to such a state?" See Dragon King raged. He was not very contemptuous. They disdained every decision that the Yuan Long made. See Dragon King laughed coldly and said, "Black Dragon, this boy is the reincarnation of Yuan Long, right? The virtual immortals stage is so powerful. If you're here, then the Azure Dragon, Golden Dragon, and the others should be here as well, right? With the help of so many Dragon Clan elders, he is actually still just a lame duck of the virtual immortals stage. Are you sure he can withstand the tribulation? Can you bring us back to the divinity? Keep dreaming." See Dragon King laughed madly and coldly. Although he was trapped and unable to break through the 6-point star's seal, He could clearly feel the aura of strength on Long Fei's body. One word to describe it: weak. Too weak. He can be said to be the reincarnation of the big brother Yuan Long, and no, he is even more powerful than boss Yuan Long Sea Dragon. If you follow him for a while, you will realize that if he can help you regain your confidence, you will definitely be able to withstand the tribulation that occurs once every 3,330,000 years. Fut. You want me to go with him? Sea Dragon King laughed disdainfully, saying, back then, he was stronger than me and used a conferred god formation to trap me. I will use 10 times the power to return it to him. Burning heaven. Sea Dragon King looked at Sky-burning dragon gun and said, you're saying I lost? Not yet. It can't be me who lost, our bet is still going on. Black Dragon Ancestor was startled. Sea Dragon, what do you want to do? Sea Dragon King laughed crazily and said, what are you doing? I want his primordial spirit to be destroyed and he will never be able to reincarnate. This is his punishment for suppressing me for a full 6,300,000 years. The power of the sea dragon, Yuan Long's body, release it for me. Ah! Streams of power seeped out of the hexagram and the power of Sea Dragon King, along with traces of Yuan Long's body, crazily surged out. At the same time, Dryad King crazily absorbed as his energy expanded crazily. Sea Dragon King laughed madly, burning heaven, just prepare to follow me, ha ha ha. Black Dragon, I'll give you a chance. If you follow me now, I'll spare your life. Otherwise, you'll die with the Azure Dragon, Golden Dragon, and the others. The Sky-burning dragon gun said, Sea Dragon King. Black Dragon Ancestor said indifferently, Sea Dragon King, since you like to bet, then I will bet with you. If you lose this battle, what about it? He trusted Long Fei. He believed that Long Fei could withstand everything, that Long Fei could withstand the tribulation, that Long Fei could bring them back to the divinity. Even though he didn't know why he believed this. A powerhouse flying in the sky could not even do it, a brat who was currently only at the virtual immortal stage. He'd think he was crazy. However, the Black Dragon Ancestor believed in Long Fei. Not only him, the Green Dragon Ancestor, the 8 Golden Dragon Master S, the Blood Spirit, the Poison Dragon, and Ghost Dragon all believed in Long Fei. Because Long Fei was that kind of person who would do whatever he didn't want to do, didn't give in, and wasn't afraid. If anyone provoked him, he would be able to skin them even in hell. Long Fei was a madman that went against the heavens. They believed in this madman. Sea Dragon King laughed coldly and said, Black Dragon, it looks like you are still the same as 6 million years ago, dead set on believing him. It's not enough to make a mistake once, you have to make a mistake a second time. The Black Dragon was slightly angered and directly said, Sea Dragon, do you dare to bet? Sea Dragon King said, how about you lose? Black Dragon Ancestor said, I've lost, I'm willing to be your slave, kneeling in front of you day and night. Ha ha ha. Sea Dragon King laughed madly, alright. In the future, you will kneel in front of me every day. Dragon Clan Elder, Black Dragon Overlord, will kneel in front of me for all eternity, ha ha ha. This is great. Black Dragon Ancestor frowned and asked, but what if you lose? Sea Dragon King sneered and said, will I lose? Even if all of you were to be added together, you would still not be my match. Black Dragon Ancestor forced a question, what happens if you lose? Sea Dragon King was furious and shouted, like you, I am willing to be a slave of that kid for another 6 million years and be a slave to him for all eternity. But, can he win? Black Dragon Ancestor replied seriously, can you win? Sea Dragon King took a deep breath and said, I, Sea Dragon King, have lost once. I will definitely not sleep a second time. Ah! The aura of his power exploded once again as an even stronger power surged into Dryad King's heart. The air was trembling. Space itself began to distort. He couldn't withstand the power coming out from the crack at all. Song Qianqian frowned, and said, Long Fei. Ling Long followed up, Senior brother, the situation isn't right, the qi is too terrifying, quickly leave that place. His aura became more and more terrifying and powerful. It was like an enormous wave that crazily swept over, flapping at Long Fei's mind. Dryad King stood up again, stared at Long Fei and laughed wildly in a cold manner, then said, "Trash, I say you don't have the qualifications, right? Ha ha ha. Very arrogant." He was extremely arrogant. He was even more arrogant than before. Dryad King knew very well the power of Sea Dragon King. He would help him, and what he needed to do was to kill Long Fei and use his blood essence to unlock the seal. Long Fei's brows sank as he stared at the slowly floating Dryad King. He started laughing coldly. "You have regained your new strength. So you can act cool this way? Sure. Then I'll let you know what it means to be struck by lightning." As soon as he finished, Long Fei flew into the air, looked at the time left in the system, and saw that there were only 10 seconds left. He had no way to send another 10,000 punches flying. If that was the case, then a crazy idea appeared in Long Fei's mind. What would the Buddha palm technique look like when it was in Super Saiyang mode? Chapter 846 Super Buddha Palm Technique. Chapter 846 Super Buddha Palm Technique. Right now, Long Fei's strongest mode, Super Saiyan's mode. The strongest attack should be the Yuan Long Godless Spear Art, but now that the Sky-Burning Dragon Gun has been robbed, this move cannot be released. Other than this spear technique, it could be considered a Big Day Tashigata. Never released in combination. What would the result be when combined with release? What would happen if he used the power of the Super Saiyang to release the Big Day Tashigata? Long Fei didn't know. However, only a lunatic like him could imagine that he was a lunatic that did not care for his own life. Seeing Dryad King's strength becoming crazily stronger, Long Fei's body also slowly floated up, and didn't immediately attack. "If you want to crush, then I'll crush you at your peak. This way, you will be beaten to a pulp." Song Qianqian shouted loudly, "Long Fei, quickly leave that place. Senior brother, leave quickly." The two girls shouted loudly. Long Fei did not move an inch as he stared at Dryad King and said, "I've said it before, I will definitely flip you over today. If I don't kill you, then I won't be surnamed Long." Dryad King also sneered sinisterly, "You will soon die, and you will soon disappear from this world. Yuan Long, how does it feel to be reborn? Virtual Immortals stage, you actually have the nerve to come out and embarrass yourself. Is this your so-called rebirth plan? Is this your plan to withstand the apocalypse? You have disappointed the entire dragon race. A trash like you is not fit to live in this world, not fit to be the master of a dragon domain." Dryad King's voice suddenly changed. Long Fei's brows tightened, and immediately shouted out in his heart, "Who is this guy?" Green Dragon Ancestor said lightly, "Sea Dragon King." "Huh?" Long Fei said excitedly, "Sea Dragon King? It sounds like they're not on the same side as you. However, I like it. I'm really worried about finding the blood of Sea Dragon King." The second step in opening the heart of Dragon Domain was to obtain the blood essence of the Sea Dragon King. With his blood, he would be able to open the heart of the Dragon Domain, and Long Fei would be able to take a step further. The Blood Dragon Ancestor said, "Boss, he has his own ideas. He has always opposed your escape from the divinity and the destruction of the dragon race, while you became the head of the gods' martial continent, protecting yourself from calamities and establishing a rebirth plan. He has always been against it. A whole 6 million years have passed. I'm afraid he." Blood Dragon Ancestor did not continue. At this moment, all the dragons became silent. Although the Sea Dragon King was against the Yuan Long, they were brothers. Always been brothers. Long Fei laughed. "The anger in my heart has been suppressed by the seal for more than 6 million years, and I can only see one thought. Kill." Ha ha ha. Long Fei laughed heartily in his heart. I don't care what kind of dragon he was in the past, and how he could oppose the Yuan Long, but right now, it's me, not the Yuan Long. If he dares to touch me, I won't care about his Sea Dragon King or your brothers. If he dares to touch me, I will kill him. Long Fei would not stay his hand just because of the Sea Dragon King's identity. No matter who. As long as they dared to mess with him, he would cripple them. Golden Dragon Master said, "Boss, we are worried about him. He killed you." Sea Dragon King was the second powerhouse of the dragon race back then. Although his strength has been suppressed by the seal for more than 6 million years, but Long Fei asked. But what? The golden dragon slowly said, but he managed to fuse the physical strength of the Yuan Long's body. What? I'm done for. Long Fei was instantly enraged and shouted, I came here for the dragon body tomb, and he actually merged the dragon's body? What the F***ck, there's no need to do that. I can announce that he's dead for sure. What was this called? This was what they called having his things stolen. If his aunt could endure this, his uncle couldn't either. I definitely have to kill him. Long Fei thought for a while. I was wondering why there was such a familiar feeling coming from the aura just now. So that's how it is. The reason the green dragon ancestor and the rest knew about it was also because of the conversation just now. They were not sure if it had fused with them, but they were clear about one thing. The aura released by Sea Dragon King really did have the aura of a Yuan Long. Thus, only then would they say that the Sea Dragon King had fused with the power of the Yuan Long's body. Sea Dragon King laughed madly and said, Yuan Long, just tremble under my power. I will use my power to prove that every decision you make is the wrong decision. To escape from divinity, it is wrong for the dragon clan to lose their homeland. It is also wrong for the dragons to split up into many DC runes and flee to different planes. Leading us to escape to this lower level of the heaven realm is even more wrong. What you're wrong about is your so-called rebirth plan. It's simply a joke. There are only 5 more years until the year of calamity. Are you sure you can withstand it? You are currently just a trash of the virtual immortal stage. This is your so-called plan. Ha ha ha. It's really hilarious. You have disappointed the entire dragon clan. We have disappointed the 10,000 dragons of the seal in the dragon domain, disappointed the scattered dragon tribes in the 100,000 places of the wild universe. Not living with me in this world. Go to hell with my power. Rumble. With every word that Dryad King said, his strength exploded, and the sky above the continent exploded with a violent rumble as rolling lightning bolts came crashing down. At this moment, Dryad King's strength had reached its peak. Long Fei's eyes froze as the distracting thoughts in his mind instantly disappeared. He glanced at the time remaining in the system, stared at the expanding Dryad King, and sneered, It's about time for you to use your strongest strength, right? Dryad King laughed coldly. Are you starting to tremble? Ha ha ha. I won't lose 2 times to a single person. Last time, I lost to you. This time, I will return everything with interest to you. Long Fei laughed. Last time, I could crush you, but this time, I can still crush you. One move. Dryad King asked. What move? When Long Fei's aura exploded out, Super Saiyang released all of his power and poured all of his power into the Big Day Tashigata, speaking in an incomparably savage manner, I killed you in 1 move. Bring it on. Rumble. Under the Super Saiyan state, the power on Long Fei's body began to burn crazily like flames, and the moment he released the Big Day Tashigata, the energy in Super Saiyan's body was instantly drained. Next, the winds and clouds churned in the sky as an incomparably huge palm broke through the void and came crashing down. The palm print was slightly different from the Buddha palm technique from before. Different strength. Different speeds. Most importantly, the huge palm was burning with the power of the Super Saiyan's blood vein. Long Fei laughed sinisterly in excitement. Taste the taste of this father's Super Buddha palm technique. Chapter 847 Explosions. Chapter 847 Explosions. Crack. Crack crack. The sky seemed to split apart as a huge palm print came crushing down. Dryad King raised his eyes, looked at the palm print being pressed down from the sky, and asked solemnly, What is this? Long Fei said arrogantly, This is power that wants your life. Dryad King roared, Just a trash of the virtual immortal stage, you want to take my life? You are not worthy. The trash of the virtual immortal stage? Then go to hell with the trash. Long Fei moved, and the Super Saiyan's time came to an end. He did not want to give Dryad King any more chances. Boom. The Super Buddha palm technique descended. The dense dragon power on Dryad King's body formed a hurricane as it attacked. Rumble. Rumble. The power Dryad King exploded out simply wasn't enough to crush him like that, and was so weak that he couldn't even withstand a single blow. Long Fei laughed crazily. Who's the trash? Who's the King trash? Dryad King? Sea Dragon King? Now, this old man will ask you, who's the trash? Long Fei laughed out loud. Dryad King could not bear it. Qin Wantian's strength was frenziedly being crushed. Under the pressure of that gigantic palm imprint, he didn't even have the chance to resist. He was an existence that could only be crushed. What power of Dryad King? What power of the Sea Dragon King? What Yuan Long's body power? All crushed. Everything from the air to the ground were being crushed by the super palm imprint. Long Fei could feel the immense power within the palm imprint, and he became extremely excited. The combination of Super Saiyang and Big Day Tashigata is going to explode, ha ha ha. Long Fei thought. Then what about the Super Saiyang and Killing God Chop? What about the godless spear technique with the Yuan Long? Wow, wow, wow. I am simply a genius. I can even think of such a combination. Ha ha ha. I want to go to heaven. It was a tentative union. Long Fei wasn't sure how it would turn out, but when he saw the power inside the Super Buddha Palm technique, he became excited. If it could be combined with the Buddha Palm technique, then it could be combined with other moves. In other words, with the stimulation of the Super Saiyang blood vein, all of Long Fei's moves would become stronger, and he would become even more abnormal and strong. Not just anyone else. Even Long Fei himself was scared. He was so excited that he was scared. Bang, 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 bang. The crushing defeat continued. The leaves, branches, and tree trunks that had revived were completely crushed by Dryad King at this moment. His toughest heart, Dryad King, could only painfully resist, not having any strength to resist at all. All of the Sea Dragon King's power that he had absorbed from his body was crushed. The dragon power constantly released from the cracks in the ground was completely destroyed. Dryad King shouted loudly, "Sea Dragon King, save me." He was afraid. The huge palm imprint crushed his body without even trying. His heart was already filled with cracks. He couldn't take it anymore. "Save me. Quickly save me. I don't want to die. I don't want to die." Dryad King shouted for help. Long Fei sneered, "Dryad King, aren't you a little arrogant? Now you're so cowardly. Didn't you just say that I'm not qualified to kill you? You say I'm trash." Heh. Long Fei laughed complacently. He was just like this. When he was proud, he would be proud, and would not learn to be humble. He was also not a gentleman. When he should laugh, he would laugh. When he should be arrogant, he would be arrogant. He definitely wouldn't be terrified, he would only bite the bullet and charge forward. He definitely wouldn't be cowardly, he just had to do it. Dryad King said, "All of this is what Sea Dragon King said, it has nothing to do with me. Master, I was wrong, I beg you to spare my life. I was wrong. Please spare me." Seeing that Sea Dragon King was quiet, Dryad King immediately started begging for mercy. Really scared. He had cultivated from a small sapling to reach his current level of cultivation after 1,000,000 years. He did not want to die just like that. Humans were afraid of death. Trees are afraid of death, too. There was no one in this world who wasn't afraid of death. Long Fei turned to look at the ground and said coldly, "So the one who is arrogant is you, Sea Dragon King? Then continue to act arrogantly for Laozi. Didn't you say that Laozi was unhappy and wanted to kill Laozi? Continue." Long Fei's voice roared once more, roaring loudly and heavily. "You should continue. Why are you spouting so much nonsense? If you accuse me of anything wrong, then you must be very stingy. Continue now. Don't even mention that I'm not a Yuan Long. Even if I were the reincarnation of a Yuan Long, I would still cripple you. Do you want to make a move on Laozi? You, Sea Dragon King, have a big mouth, right?" Long Fei was very unhappy. His own Yuan Long's body had been snatched away by Sea Dragon King. How could he feel good about it? The reason why he came here was for the tomb with the dragon's body. Who would have thought that he would come here empty-handed? How could he tolerate this? He absolutely could not tolerate it. Long Fei scolded angrily, "Continue pretending. Continue trying to kill me. Who do you think you are? Sea Dragon King wanted to resist. But his strength was blocked by the seal, and the energy seeping out from the formation could not suppress the Super Buddha Palm technique at all. Sea Dragon King panted heavily, unable to say a single word. His body was filled with incomparable rage. It was so angry that it felt like it was going crazy. However, it was completely useless. His heart was also incomparably shocked. This guy is definitely not a Yuan Long. No one understood Yuan Long's power better than him. This kind of strength was definitely not from a Yuan Long. Sea Dragon King's heart sank as he retracted all of his strength and shouted, "Who are you?" He had already lost. He gave up resisting. As for Dryad King, it was just one of his pawns, and he didn't care. The corner of Long Fei's mouth hooked up as he laughed coldly. "I am your ancestor." Boom. Bang. With a loud noise, he crushed Dryad King's heart, causing it to explode. At the same time, the entire ground crumbled, a gigantic palm print smashed into the ground. Crack. Dryad King's heart was broken. The last sliver of health fell. Also at this moment, the system sounded out a notification sound. Long Fei's mind tightened and immediately said, "Release your striking energy value, explode." Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Dryad King for obtaining 30,000 experience, 10,000 power of celestial points, 1 energy values. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Dryad King Blood Vein. Do you wish to fuse them? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Immortal Stage Divine Equipment Divine Wood Cauldron. Congratulations to the player Long Fei for obtaining the Wood Spirit Source Crystal. Do you wish to absorb it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 10,000 Wood Body Protection Technique. Do you wish to cultivate it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Dryad King's Heart. Do you wish to fuse it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Zhongya Gold Body. Do you wish to cultivate it? The system was going crazy. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.